Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live, but most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join and express your views on the shape of the Earth. There are a couple of rules in the Hangout. Number one, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. If you do join, please say hello immediately. Don't close your mic and say nothing, as you will get booted, as we will assume you are here for nefarious reasons. Please also share the show, as sharing the show increases the live audience, and this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. Now, I do have Arwin and Ranty in the Hangout, so I'll say one last time, if you are new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. And with that, I'll say my first hello to Arwin. How you doing, Arwin?
Hello immediately.
Hello. Good to yes, hello immediately. And hello to you too, Ranty. How you doing?
Hello immediately.
Good to have you both here. I'm going to disappear just for a few minutes just to share the links and such, so I'll leave you to have a little bit of a chat.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's start off with the little social subject, talking about the Flat Earth community, the Flat Earthers that have shows and that are out there working on their Flat Earth shows for a year or more, and how this is faring. And yeah, I think we're not the first to really notice that a lot of flat earthers out there seem to have become more concerned about their following base and about their personal show and their egos. It's become about their personal worth as a flat earth researcher or whatever, rather than actually getting over that ego part and just joining together to get all the proofs together. Hold on. And I personally think this is, it's kind of a waste, because if people would just realize that, hey, we are not really the first people to actually come out for the flat earth or go against the globe world religion concession, you don't need to make it really about you. That you're coming out for flat earth, having this show is already a pretty big step. You already have to endure all the glober trolls, which is very tough on its own, since they know no shame, no change. They'll never admit to anything, even if it were to be in their own interest. And this is tough enough on its own. We don't need to go infighting just because you'd feel that maybe somebody else might take credit for something that you would like to have credit for yourself. Like, who invented this? Who discovered this? But yeah, it seems like such a shame if we would all just get over that part and, like the Glober trolls, just band together to, well, I guess fight the enemy. It may be a bit over dramatized calling it like that, but yeah, if we could just get over ourselves and just bind together and work together, as brothers in this research project, in this revelation of flat Earth, then we would get a lot further. Instead of all this infighting that is basically just halting the progress, or, well, not halting, it's slowing it down. We could get a lot farther a lot quicker. Everybody just got over themselves and stop banning other flat earthers because you don't like what they said, or you don't like how they criticized you about some detail. Yeah. So that's just another subject. And many people do it out there, although I guess everybody has their moods at times when you just don't want to be nice about some other people because of some detail in their behavior. But yeah, it's never too late to basically uh, get back from that and actually give compliments where compliments are due. Then things will work out eventually. And yeah, I think that Nathan and our Flat Earth panel deserve some credit for the very hard and meticulous work that has been done in this field, mainly concerning the Isle of Man, which we have researched in utter detail, like real serious detail, which has been unparalleled out there in the Flat Earth community. So Nathan deserves credit, and Ranty deserves credit. I deserve a little bit of credit, and Anthony deserves credit, and the others as well.
Yeah, did you
So-
mention Chris Monk?
But the thing is, it's not secret. It's this information was shared with people from day one. I mean, the composites out there, the original videos out there. If other channels want to go and do their research using this evidence, it's there for them to use. You know, we're not hiding anything, and we're not trying to be the best in the field, and we're not trying to be the first to do this or that.
Well,
you know, this is a
we
community.
are trying to be the best, but that's not the main objective. And I think that many other flat earthers they don't want to like take this research that we have been doing in such detail uh, because they would rather just take a subject that they themselves have discovered and then worked out in detail to take the credit because it feels better. So this is a bit of a problem. It's
That's
the
ego.
ego getting in the way, and it's getting in the way of progress, and it's too bad. It's working like this.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, there are channels that we're working with. There is no doubt about that. I mean, we're in discussions with several channels right now, and we have worked with them as well. And they want to be involved in this. They do, and they want to have a platform and share the same information from their platform too, and that will be coming out soon.
That's fantastic. But I was mainly talking about the bigger, more manifested channels with more following, and they seem to be segregating themselves in a way, keeping their following to themselves and discouraging branching out, exploring the other channels. And yeah, if they wouldn't do that, then hey, if you don't exclude others, then the others will actually help you, will promote you, will send people your way because yeah, you're not segregated. So just a tip for the bigger flat earthers out there.
Well, like I say, I mean, Globebusters was on the table.
Bruce? Good to have you
Hi,
here.
Bruce.
Hey guys,
Good to see you.
check it in.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Globebusters was on the table, but we couldn't get over a particular issue, so we had to break off from that particular agreement, unfortunately. But Globebusters did want us to come on and share this revelation on their channel. That is a fact, absolute 110% fact. Bob clearly believes in the evidence. Sorry?
Yeah, but they didn't, so they let something.
No, there was
not that important get in the way.
No, there was a personal issue that we couldn't resolve, so that's the reason it didn't take place. However, the information is still getting out there. We've had channels like Mark Sargent, who's mirrored the video.
Yes.
There's been other channels as well that have done the same. So the information is getting out there. But the thing is, you know, we're not jumping up and down and saying nobody can't have this. We're happy to share this information with whoever. You know, it's there.
Of course.
You know, and this is what the flat Earth community is missing. It's missing this camaraderie where we're not jealous of other channels, and you know, we have no issues with sharing the work. So other channels need to realize that we're not the threat. We're not the issue. You know, the real threat are the people we're trying very hard to discredit and disprove. And all the flat earthers are doing the same. So the sooner we band together and work this out between us, the sooner we can make progress and get somewhere. Because all this infighting isn't helping anybody.
That's fine. It's helping the Globers. It's making it a lot easier for them.
Yeah, exactly. How are you, Bruce, anyway? How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Cool.
Takes a lot for me to be up at this time. We're mountain time, so it's 4 a.m.
Oh,
Wow.
tonight.
You did really well
What made you
yesterday.
get up so early?
Was it yesterday you were on, Bruce, with the chap from Greenland, and you were talking about seeing the ISS? Was that yesterday?
Yes.
Did really well. Really, really well.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. And, you know, that goes for Mercury as well. Like I was kind of chiming in there that Mercury is the size of Europe, they say, and is, 45 million miles away, halfway to the sun. So if you do that math on the plane again at 7 miles high, there's no way you could see Mercury in the naked eye with, in the sky.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's a good point. With that distance, even with a theoretical vacuum being in between, minimizing the refraction, that would still be, way out of sight.
Yeah, I don't think we can comprehend the distances involved when you say it like, 45 million miles away. I mean, you just can't think in your head how far away that actually is.
Yeah,
and then you realize that when you get to that distance, it will be nothing.
How do you fathom? You get two choices. How do you fathom seeing light years away by your naked eye? Or is there infinite light? If there's infinite light, then there should be infinite light. There should be light everywhere. But there's not. There's just these little points of light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's foolish to think you could see that far away in the first place.
Hank Hill covered it and just said basically the inverse square law applies. We shouldn't see any of them based on the distances. I think it was the distances were sort of bolstered by Tycho Brahe in terms of him saying, well, they'd have to be enormous. They'd have to be absolutely ridiculously huge. And then, of course, that gets co-opted into they are ridiculously huge. And then you see cue the video of the Sun versus Beetlejuice and so on and so forth, as they get absolutely ridiculous.
Are there any ballers on right now?
Nope. In chat, the usual crap fest.
We're still under boycott, apparently, because
since joined by
is there a baller now?
Bigger picture, hello.
How you doing? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good to have you here.
All right. Cool.
What's on your mind?
I'm a part-time vegan, so
I'm looking for a baller. No ballers, huh?
Yeah, not a baller.
Bigger picture might be a baller. You never know.
Well, let me keep it edgy then. Do you guys know anything about this? Since you guys were talking about Globebusters, and I'm kind of late to this, I heard some criticism, so I want to know what you guys know. Do you know about FE Core and what that's all about?
Yeah, field engineers.
Yeah. So I guess they were going to do an experiment.
That are going to prove the Earth is flat, basically.
Planning.
It's a team of field engineers that are going to prove the Earth is flat as a team. I think it's an excellent idea.
So the criticism is that the lake they picked in France or whatever it never freezes, and they had huge expectations that it would freeze on this certain day.
Okay.
I don't expect anyone to defend them, but I'm just kind of late to the criticism, so I was wondering if anyone knows, what the story is.
How you doing, P. Mars?
Hi, Pete.
Good to have you.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
Good to have you.
Are you a baller?
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
He's a back and forth baller.
Oh, wait, yeah, Pete.
Looking for a shot caller. Finally, can you look at my avatar?
Sure.
This is basically general relativity debunked on my son's. What do you call those things? Those toys.
Can you read it just so it's verbalized?
Gravity is said to be due to time and space being bent. But time is a concept. You can't bend a concept. Can you paint time red or do any other physical thing with time?
Well, what's interesting about that
Time could.
is that a gravity well will... okay, so the speed of light is constant. You can't change the speed of light. But what happens in a gravity well is it loses energy because of the gravity, and it changes frequency, so it changes color. And this
Speed of light is
effect
not constant.
Yeah. How do you know light's a constant?
applies to like time and light seem to be related somehow, and this
No.
effect applies to time, and gravity alters time.
Light is not related to time, and light is not a constant speed. The only thing that has been concluded is that light has a maximum speed, because the ether basically prevents it from going faster.
But we're not talking
That's
about
the only
light.
thing
We're
we
talking
can-
about
Where did
time.
you read
we're,
that,
talking
Alan?
we're talking about time. And time is a concept. Time is not a physical thing. And for general relativity's gravity to work, time has to be proven to be, a physical thing that you can paint red or bend.
Why does time change depending on gravity then?
It doesn't.
So general relativity
doesn't?
states that
Then why-
gravity.
It's only theoretical. Time only theoretically
there's a-
changes when you get near a black hole, that type of stuff. But black hole are
they have
pure
ex-
theoretical science fiction.
They have experiments that show time changing based on gravity. So, like, do you have any
that's
evidence for
impossible.
your claim?
Wait.
No, but
they
it's
have ex-
impossible
But they
because you
have
can't measure.
experiments, Arwen.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
I
hold
know,
on.
but
Hold on, Arwen.
How are they
Hold on,
impossible?
hold
Can
on,
I finish?
hold on,
Can I
hold
finish?
on, hold
Can I
on,
finish?
Hold on.
You're
Arwen,
saying
hold
experiments
on.
that exist are
Can I
impossible?
Calm down, I
finish?
want to hear this.
Can I
So
finish?
PMARS
No.
is claiming.
Time
Hold on.
Experiments
doesn't change.
exist.
Only the
Stop,
way
stop.
matter responds
Please,
in relation
stop.
to time
Just let me hear
can
PMARS's
change,
claim.
because we can only measure time through how matter responds.
Well, don't
Where-
tell us
where
how,
did you read
when he's
that?
making the claim. I just want to hear
No, I
Pete.
figured
Pete's
that
telling
out.
us
It's
that
very
they can change
logical.
You just figured it. You
time
just
with
made it up.
gravity.
Yes,
Let's hear
time can
how.
be measured as matter is response.
Well,
responding
there's experiments
in the
Arwen,
world,
so maybe you
then
should
you
check
can
out
basically
experiments
see,
instead
hey,
of
this
making things
matter
up.
responds in time in a specific way, like quartz crystal having this resonance. So that is how we measure time. We can't
Where did you read
measure
this?
time by anything other than matter.
Where did you read
So
this?
how matter actually responds within the world could change in such that we would perceive time to be different, but it's not. It's the matter that actually changes. Time does not change. It's only a derivative.
Atomic
It's a derivative
clocks.
concept of matter itself.
Atomic clocks go at different speeds on the top of a mountain because of gravity, Arwen.
No?
Well, then why do they change speeds?
Well, because the matter apparently responds differently in certain locations in
Where did you-
relation to time than others.
Citation, please.
Citation? There's
Is
no
an atomic
citation.
clock time or a
Because you just
measurement
make
of
stuff
time?
up.
No, I figured it out. It's
You
Hang
just
on.
figured it out
conceptual
Well,
thing.
I feel that if you're going to base
with the magic spell. Did you
No.
learn that from your elfin brethren?
I think we're
of the
just
presupposition
falling off
that
the
bending
circuit.
of space-time exists. How do you know the bending of space-time exists?
Or let's
Because
just stick with
atomic
time. Let's
clocks
stick
go at
with
different
time.
speeds based on gravity. That's how I know.
Right.
How do you know
so
any?
Yeah, but
they explain gravity by the
If
bending.
you're gonna
of
say that's
space-time.
how you know, then you are basically
see,
don't know anything. So
Arwen, you just admitted you make stuff up and you don't read.
no, I conceptualize.
Arwen, you just
Figured
admit you
it
don't
out.
read.
We can only measure time through matter. So if time seems to be changing somehow, it's not time that's
Seems to
changing.
be
It's
changing.
actually
There's
how matter
experiments that
responds
show
that
they
is
change
changing.
using atomic clocks.
Man, I'm
on
totally
mountains
confused.
and
Can I
in
just take a vote
satellites.
here? Can we take a vote? Who believes time is a physical thing that you can bend? Say aye.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope. So
No.
how do you expect gravity to be a concept?
Argumentum ad populum is a logical fallacy, flat earther.
I would agree. P. Just
That's
because the
true,
panel
but
agrees, who cares?
How do you know this bending
Hey,
of
all I
space-time
know
even
is
exists?
that time can only be measured through matter. It's the only way we can even conceptualize the thing. So if time appears to be changing, we could only measure this through how much matter responds in the world, how it changes its response. Matter can like transmute, can change, can whatever the process is through which we measure time, it can change. It doesn't mean that time changes, it just means that the properties of matter change, which makes it appear like time is changing. But time is only a concept, it does not change.
Speaking of gravity, like another thing that blows my mind. So if you're going to go off the Newtonian idea, not the Newtonian, but the relativity idea of gravity. So basically saying that things fall because of the way they've been in space. So basically, if you have two different objects in a vacuum, they will fall at the exact same time. But the thing is, if you have two different objects, then they both bend space differently. So if they bend space differently, how do they fall at the same acceleration? That makes no sense. But they embraced it as if it makes sense. But it literally makes no sense. You have two different objects bending space differently, yet they would allegedly fall at the same acceleration in a vacuum. That makes no sense to me.
Time is a component
Cheers to that.
quantity of various measurements used to sequence events, to compare the duration of events or intervals between them, and to quantify rates of change of qualities in material reality or in the constant experience.
Thank you, Pete. That's exactly what I tried to explain.
And
Time
me.
can only be measured through how matter responds. It's the
Time
only
is
way.
a measurement.
Time is often
a
referred to
concept.
as a fourth dimension, along with 3 spatial dimensions. It's
Yeah.
not a concept.
Yeah, it
guy.
is. That is
It's
a concept.
It's a you prove the fourth dimension. It's a concept.
Until I prove the fourth dimension, it's a concept.
No,
Correct.
I agree that it is. It could be conceived as the fourth dimension.
Have you proved the third dimension? Have you proved the second dimension? Have you
Yes.
proved the
I
first
don't need to.
dimension?
All I
And
need to
What
do
have you
is
proved?
Sorry,
all I
Pete,
need to
Pete,
prove
Pete,
is that
it's
time
really
What dimensions
is not.
have you
Let me
proved?
tell you what I've
Breadth and
proven.
depth.
I've
That's
proven
really
that
easy.
time is not a physical object that can be bent. That's what I've proven. Okay.
Yeah, you're a flat earth scientist. Great.
So Pete,
Time is only a property of how matter in what speed in relation to the rest matter responds in the world. That's how we can derive time. That's how we do derive time. It's how clock works. It's how clocks work.
So Pete, if we
Why do
have
clocks work differently at sea level versus on the top of a mountain?
Because matter has different properties apparently in relation to this process, in relation to how it transforms in these different heights. I don't know.
Maybe someone else can give an explanation who knows what they're talking about.
if I knew what you were referring to, I could-
unmeasurable force of gravity. I don't know how that works. I just know that this is how it works, and this is how we
Maybe
measure
you could
time.
let someone who knows how it explain it.
So
What's the question?
what experiment are you referring
What's the question?
to?
Atomic clocks operate at different speeds based on like their.
Okay,
Hi,
the
Warren, how
atomic
you
clock
doing?
is a mechanism. So the
Can you hear us, Warren?
mechanism
Sorry to interrupt
does
you guys.
different things
Hello, can you
in
hear us,
different
Warren?
parts of the world.
Hello?
Yes, exactly.
It's based
Hold
on.
on, Pete. I just need to say hello to this guest before you all get kicked out. Hello, Warren, can you hear us? Right, to get ejected, Warren, can you say hello?
So
No, bye-bye, Warren. Sorry to interrupt.
I don't know. There's a different. They take two atomic clocks and they match them up so they're the exact same time, and then
Okay.
they put one on top of a mountain and one at sea level, and in a year they're at different times.
mhm.
And this is an experiment that you can do and it's repeatable.
Well, I mean, just based off their altitude, they're obviously experiencing different forces, which could play a role to why they.
Yeah, different gravity.
Well, you just can't say it's gravity. How do you know it's gravity? and not
Why?
maybe-
Because that dude.
Are you just asserting it's gravity? Or
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
you
he
prove
is.
it?
I mean, I'm not. I don't.
Sorry, say
I
it
don't. I don't. I'm just basing this off like.
I mean,
what
I'm not saying
scientists
gravity's
say.
not a possible explanation.
I'm
but
not
just
a
saying, how do you know
scientist.
it's
I am a
just
layman.
well, yeah,
This
I'm
is
not,
an experiment you can do. It's
Right,
real.
right. I'm
And
not, I'm not
the people who do
disagreeing with the
experiment
results.
have found that it's caused by gravity.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
how do you know it's
no,
caused
but
by
you
gravity?
can't even measure gravity. Really, you can only deduce it.
You
just
can absolutely
like time.
measure gravity.
No, you
I haven't-
can't measure gravity.
you
you
can measure
dumbass. No, you
gravity.
can't.
Please
I
don't
mean,
swear.
Is this literally a
Calling you
circular
a
argument,
dumbass
or
is
is
not
this a
true.
Well,
circular
you're
argument?
calling me a dumbass, but I have an experiment on my channel that shows how they measure gravity. So
Yeah, sure you do.
Okay,
where
hold
are
on,
you-
hold on.
Where are you
hold
coming
on.
off?
How do
are
they
you
measure
coming off
gravity?
saying this?
Hold on. How do they measure
Cavendish.
gravity?
Cavendish experiment.
Yeah, exactly. That stupid machination.
Hold on, but
Nonsense.
before we leave the clocks...
Did you repeat it
hold on.
yourself?
You seem to think experiments are stupid for some
No,
reason.
I believe
So,
that
let's just- can I just
specific
establish something with P.
experiment
Mars,
is a
please?
method.
No, you also don't like the atomic clock experiment.
Okay,
You're
let's
No,
all
stick
I
to
over
the
the
think
place,
the
Arwen.
atomic
Hold on,
clock
Arwen, I
experiment
just
is
wanna ask
fine. It's the
people-
perfect
hold on,
example
Arwen,
of how
Arwen,
matter
Arwen.
No, you
actually
don't. You just mixed
Arwen.
helps us to determine the
Arwen, please, can
speed
you
of
just stop
time
talking
in
for a
relation
second?
to matter.
Arwen, I
transformers.
need to ask P. Mars a question. What is your understanding of how it actually works? How does an atomic clock work in your mind, P. Mars?
I think it has something to do with the decay of
Yeah, atomic decay. You're right. You're absolutely
atomic
right.
decay. Yeah, they
Yeah,
measure
radioactive decay, half-life time. That's how it works.
Yeah,
Right, but
Yeah.
could you understand, P, that if you move something, its rate of decay could change, and the extrapolation of time, therefore, is invalid if you're actually looking at the rate that something decays.
Why don't the scientists say that?
Okay, I'll give you a
Why
different
don't the
example.
scientists say it's
if I
a
give you a
ball?
different
Come on.
example, P, so if the rate of a banana changes its rate of decay depending on its location, could you conceive that the same thing could be true for whatever they are measuring, I don't know, in an atomic clock, whatever the matter is that they're measuring the decay of? Could you not conceive that the matter in a banana having a different rate of decay could be similar to an atomic clock if moved?
Oh no, not really.
Okay, fair enough.
Time is always measured through how matter transforms and responds in the world, and the resonance effect of, for example, quartz has a specific frequency. All of this, yeah, it might change. Doesn't say that time changes. It just proves that matter doesn't always respond exactly the same in every location, in every condition. That's the only real conclusion that you can draw with it, with honesty.
What drives me crazy is that anytime you get someone in a gravity debate like this, you immediately start with, okay, what gravity are you talking about? And they have no idea that Newtonian and Einsteinian are diametrical opposite, that Einstein is answering problems that Newton wasn't able to do with location in terms of there's this magic force pulling. And so they think they can conflate the two theories and they're opposing each other.
Mm-hmm.
No, they aren't.
Yeah, they are.
Please tell me how they're not.
Why don't you tell me how they are?
Well, Newton, let me just explain it in a cartoon for you. Newton believed that two beings, two properties, two balls in mid-space attract each other from the center of their being. One that's bigger, has more attraction than the other. But he had no explanation for the force that was coming from the center of the beings. So Einstein came around and said, no, that's not what's going on. There is no magical force between two beings. Time and space is being bent and they're falling into each other. And so they're completely opposite mechanisms for what's bringing gravity together.
Oh, your explanation doesn't sound like they're opposite, but okay.
Well, one is bending space and time, and one is two things attracting each other to each other.
Newton basically declared it was a literal measurable force, which it's not. Doesn't have any energy remnants. It doesn't have any property that is typical of a force.
It's not a force.
When
it's not a
force,
wave.
you can
it's
measure
not
it.
It's
All
not
force
nothing.
can be measured.
A wave can be measured. A force can be measured, but
Exactly.
it is neither of those.
It's energy.
In fact, if you compare it to the other three real forces of the universe, I mean, it is 1/millionth of a 100th of a millionth. You wouldn't even be able to hear it beyond the background noise of radiation, but nobody takes that into account. They just say gravity because they think they know what the fuck it is. I'm so sorry, Nathan. Excuse me.
Yeah, gravity's pretty solid, man.
It's pretty quiet compared to
Now-
radiation. So how do you hear it beyond the background noise in the universe? How does this force get heard is the way scientists say it, but what they mean is how would it ever activate beyond radiation?
Why do oil and water separate?
You don't understand. The force of radiation, the background noise of the other three forces are I mean, I couldn't even describe it. It's just like
I know-
incrementally
I know
millions of
gravity.
times.
Force. But
So think
it
about
does
this.
exist. Gravity
How
does exist.
think about this?
'Cause we see,
Gravity,
Yeah,
gravity is
I
doing this
agree.
lunar dance, a circuit. You know, gravity's holding all the planets in the solar system, right, in an orbit. But to us, it sticks us to the ground. Why does it stick us to the ground, but the Earth doesn't get sucked into the sun?
And air doesn't get sucked into the vast
why
outer space.
why does oil
Don't even get me started.
why
on the
does
vacuum.
oil sit on top of water?
Because it's non-polar.
That would be buoyancy.
Okay. And what causes buoyancy?
Anything that is lighter than air can push up. Anything that's heavier than air will fall through
No,
the
but
air.
let's
Because
Gra-
air is full of water.
gravity-
Really close.
Let's get to
Sir,
the
Air,
Gravity-
water.
gravity. There's just no gravitational pull.
Gravity
And
causes
gravity
buoyancy.
is not a force, it's a constant. It's something we can deduce, just like time, from how matter responds in this world. There's no actual force that we can measure that is the gravity. Only the matter that actually does things, that we can basically deduce the formula for, of the
We can
falling
see
and all that, and buoyancy and all that, but it's absolutely unproven that
It's
there is
not.
gravitational pull,
It's
except
not.
for the Cavendish machination experiment, which is complete.
No, there's other proofs. There's other proofs,
No, there's not.
Arwen.
no,
Absolutely
there
there
isn't.
is.
No, there isn't.
Why
Let's hear
are
him,
you
Pete.
just shouting me down like this?
Yeah, let's hear him, Pete.
Talk. Because like look,
Because you're wrong.
there's a thing called buoyancy, which is caused by gravity.
Yeah, I know.
And we know this because like what you can do is you can take like you can show
I
buoyancy.
know there is gravity, but it's not gravitational pull. It's just, it could be said it's a downward force or a segregation force that segregates the lighter matter from the heavier matter in the two directions that we know as up and down. But that's all we can deduce from it. It's all
Arwen,
we can measure. It's
you
all
haven't
we
even
know
read
about
the
it. And the
definition
rest
of
is all
buoyancy.
theory.
Buoyancy requires gravity for it
Yeah,
to work.
I know,
We-
but it doesn't require gravitational pull. It just needs the
does.
falling con. No, it doesn't.
yes, I can prove
No,
it.
there is no
I can prove it.
gravitational pull formula in that formula. It's not
can prove
required.
it.
The only thing you need,
If you can
basically,
prove
the
it,
up and
then-
down and
if
the
you can
speeds,
prove it, if
everything.
he can prove it, then he can plainly in layman's terms
Yes.
describe the mechanism of how gravity works.
Here's
How
what
does
I can
gravity
do.
work?
Here's what I
Tell
can
me
do
how
for you,
gravity
buddy.
works.
Here's what I
Can
can
you
do
just
for
tell
you,
me how
buddy.
gravity works? Can you just tell me how gravity works?
I
can-
just did.
What?
Can you tell me
I
how
just
gravity
described
works?
how gravity
I can
works.
tell you they don't know what causes gravity.
Thank
I can
you.
tell you that.
Okay.
And
Great.
And
Okay,
that's the
cool.
point you were trying to make because
Yes,
you're losing
Einstein
really
and-
bad and you're
yes,
trying to
that-
like shift the goalpost to like something I can agree with you on so you don't like look really bad, I guess. I don't know. But I want to talk
Yeah,
about
I
something
mean,
called
because this is
Worry
buoyancy.
something
about
that
us
we
looking
don't
bad.
ask. I mean, we teach Einstein, we teach Newton in school,
Uh-huh.
and then we walk out thinking we know gravity.
School's
And now
indoctrination.
we've just showed exactly. Thank you very much. And we just showed that this is very a priori because now all of the theories.
I've done
that are
more
saying-
research on school being an indoctrination than you, and I could, more eloquently talk about it if you would like. But I want
I
to talk
doubt that.
about.
I really
wanna,
highly doubt that.
Oh,
I know
really?
about the fact
I've got
that
a video on my channel you should check out. I bet it's got a lot of information you have no clue about.
I
You know who
know
Charlotte
quite a bit about
White
it.
is?
Yes.
Okay,
if you're,
great.
if you're so well aware about school indoctrination, then why haven't you figured out more of the actual lies there
I
within?
figured out way more lies than all of you on the panel combined.
Oh, sure
I'm a
you have, but you
genius.
still
I read
believe in
books.
gravitational
You guys make
pull.
up theories.
That's
I read
ridiculous,
books.
man.
Okay, what's the
You're
biggest
making
lie
up
that
theories.
you've-
I'm reading books. Yes, look. I
what's
want
the
to talk
biggest
about.
lie that you've uncovered in schools?
Okay.
The biggest lie that you can come up with that's been taught in a school.
Who's Kermit Roosevelt?
School or a book, it doesn't really matter. It's information that you're getting externally.
He's all
If
in
you
his
can't
head here.
figure
Can
it
you not
out, if you
gang up
can't
on him?
prove it,
So-
then it's just a bunch of papers. It's just a bunch of words. It's just the theory.
Why is it better to make stuff up than to read a book?
Well, because then you're actually figuring it out yourself. You
Do you
know,
follow
you know
You're
the
not. You're
baseline
just making-
concept of
you're
the
just making
scientific
things
theory.
up, though.
You have to. What actually makes science is that it's repeatable, which means you'll have to be able to comprehend it and do it yourself in a way that makes sense. See, That's how it works. That's why it's probably better to just do it yourself, figure it out yourself, instead of just repeating textbooks or school teaching or whatever.
I suppose it
That's
all
what
depends
we're
on which
doing.
books he's reading. No, to be fair, I think it all depends on which books he's actually reading. I mean, if you look at Martin Leakey's channel and what he's uncovering and what he has been uncovering about our past through encyclopedias and stuff like this, it's absolutely fascinating.
It is.
Fascinating. And you would never, so some books, absolutely. And I mean, people that are sending him this information, the books that they probably don't want anybody to have anymore, because they have images and descriptions of things that about our past that we have no idea we've never been taught this. And he's opening my mind to our past. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Books are good, especially if you use them in the right way.
Well, I mean, it depends on the book, because like there's a lot of bad books, and books are used as propaganda. But the thing is, like, some books are really interesting because there's some like whistleblowing books, and there's some books that have some truth in. Like a lot of the older books have more truth in them. But
it's
so,
different between books that describe a theory and books that describe actual events.
Yeah, whatever, Arwen.
With actual events, it is literal. It is a recording of something that did happen. That's the big difference. Well, these modern books it's theory, and when it's theory, it's not really proven. It's just a theory. So
I can have
uncovering ancient history and deleted history is interesting because those were things that did happen.
I can have an interesting conversation with Martin because he reads, but like Arwen just makes stuff up. So it's like, what am I going to do? Go to someone on the street and be like, hey, this guy on YouTube just made this stuff up.
Turn myself up in the hangout. No one's
it makes no sense.
You can just say that I make stuff up, but
that's what you said. You said it's better to just make up stuff.
No, it's better to figure it out yourself.
You're not figuring
so you understand it. That's what I said. I don't make stuff up. I don't just make stuff out of nothing. I figure it out.
Okay, maybe English isn't your first language.
Yeah, it isn't.
I got a really interesting new observation that someone's been taking with their PS900 on Twitter. His name is Juggernaut, if you can figure that out. But I'll just describe it to you. He took an 8-hour full moon sort of time lapse, and it appears, if you could just theoretically, if you want to go look at it yourself, it's on Juggernaut again. But it appears that the face of the moon is spinning clockwise in an 8-hour span. I think it spins about halfway clockwise. So that tells me one of two things: either one, it's spinning on a weird axis, or two, this is showing us its motion as it's rotating away from us.
No, all heavenly discs do that. The sun rotates clockwise as well.
So it's not spinning. We're just seeing from our perspective, it's changing. It looks like it's moving clockwise because it is going in a rotation away from us.
No, it's all optical. The heavenly bodies are holographic, and they appear to rotate exactly in their axis towards us, around clockwise, perfectly.
Damn sniper keeps trying to join. Playing Connect. Why are you doing it? Unbelievable.
What's happening?
Got somebody that wants to join to snipe you all out of the conversation so that you can't talk to each other.
What's fascinating is all the boycotters. They're still in the chat. Like, wouldn't they boycott the chat too?
Yeah, they don't understand the concept of a boycott.
Or is that like the line? Is that like the scab line? The strike line where you can't cross the line. Like, we can be here, but we're not going on there.
They think this is a debate.
Well, no. I mean, at the moment it's very one-sided. I'll agree with you, Pete. Unfortunately, there's an observation been made of Ireland at 145 miles, and absolutely nobody has stepped forward to debunk it. So, yeah, it's a bit one-sided. We've had a retreat, and they're calling it a boycott.
Yeah, I've watched this whole thing with this video evidence of Ireland, and it just seems really inconclusive either way. So it's just a huge waste of time.
Hi, Warren.
It's not.
Hello.
It's very obvious.
Right.
Hello.
Good to have you. How are you doing?
I'm real.
Good to have you, Warren. Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
no. Being able to see Ireland from England is not inconclusive at all. We've triangulated all the landmarks and everything, proving that it has to be that, just that. It's not a mistake. It's not inconclusive. It's very obviously Ireland. And yeah,
I don't think looking at objects in the distance is a good way to prove the sphere or the flat Earth, since
no, it
there's
is actually.
optical
It's called geography.
illusion.
It's how the exploration
Excuse
was.
me,
And it's
Alan?
how the land has been mapped out.
Sure.
It's actually really, really the way to do it. The only way to do it.
Well,
Did you have a question, Warren?
there's too many optical
Alan?
illusions.
Hello, Warren. Did you have a
No.
question?
The illusions in your mind.
I did for Owen.
Okay, cool.
Well, what do you
Owen,
think is a
you-
good
you
way to
talk
prove the
about,
Earth is flat, Pete?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. If that is not the perfect way to prove it, what is the perfect way to prove it without, excavation? What right here, right now? How can we prove it?
Good question. I would give you $5,000 for any evidence that the Earth is flat.
No, you
See, but
won't.
here, hold on. Here's the
No,
Forget
thing.
that
you
it's
want
flat.
to-
Forget that
It's
it's flat.
hard to
How
provide
about that it's not a
evidence.
spinning ball? How about that it's not a spinning ball? What do we have to do to prove it to you?
Debunk all the scientific evidence,
Yeah,
like
right.
Foucault's
See, but here's
pendulum
the thing.
experiment,
Yeah,
Cavendish.
Yeah, debunk their
Come on, you really
machinations.
you haven't read about Foucault? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Come on.
You can easily prove it's flat. I reckon
But
you can
we have to
easily
debunk
prove
their
it's flat.
machinations. That is what they
Okay.
want. They
How
want
can we
us
go
to
about
spend
doing that?
millions of dollars for their idiotic scientism contraptions to buy it all up and then prove them it doesn't work. And still then they'll say, no, you just did
No.
it wrong. No, I don't trust you.
Hello.
It's
No,
not
you don't
about
need to do
proving the
that.
Earth is flat to them. It's proving that their giant amount of
No, you
machinations
buy
is
tick-
wrap. That is what
buy a ticket on
the Globers
Virgin
really
Galactic.
want.
It's kind of hard to
Right.
prove. It's kind of hard to prove flat Earth anyway, because like the people that believe in the globe have already forfeit their common sense.
It's easy to prove
doesn't-
flat Earth.
Is that what? Is
It's
that,
easy
sorry,
to
is that
prove flat
Warren's?
Earth.
Is that you speaking, Warren?
Yeah, yeah.
The best evidence
cool.
I've heard
Cool.
for flat Earth is that the Bible says the Earth is flat.
No.
So how can we prove the
The
flat
Bible's a
Earth, Warren?
theory. Oh, you buy a ticket on Virgin Galactic. If it doesn't fly, you get your money back. Nothing gained, nothing lost.
Bible is not proof the Earth is flat. It's just another testimony that
You
it
mean-
might be, that it
Right,
is,
so-
if we trust it. What is proof that the Earth is flat is
Again,
actual
yeah.
observation.
What can we do
Observation,
here?
seeing things in
Here.
the distance, disproving the curve. And there's
Well,
no
hang on,
matter of
observation
imagined
proves the sphere.
illusions that can undo that. You can
Well,
you
hang
can
on, Alan.
declare anything an
Hang on.
illusion in your mind to compensate for the failed
Well, haven't you done
theoretical
that?
model of the globe, but that's an illusion. That's the illusion that you create in your mind. Actual
Josh,
observations
Josh,
prove
what?
actual flatness.
Josh, hello.
Yeah,
Josh?
hey Ranty, how you going?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good
Good,
to have
good.
you.
Nice to have
Good,
you here.
Yeah, just here, like the actual. I'm in Australia. I'm in Melbourne right now, and the stream is just lagging so much. So I joined the call just so it wouldn't lag.
Hey, Josh, I'm in Melbourne too, mate.
Yeah, nice
I'm
one.
getting it through really. I'm getting it through quite smoothly.
Ah, okay. Maybe it's my.
I've got no
who am I
lag.
with? Who am I with?
You must be on the NBN.
No.
That's
it's
an
not the
Aussie joke.
NBA. No, that's yeah. Screw those guys. I'm with Dodo. Who are you with?
TPG.
Oh, Dodo, you with Pete?
Oh God, I can't believe I just said Dodo. How could I just say Dodo in a flat Earth
Hey,
conversation?
you're in Australia, right? Can I ask you a question?
They're
Sure.
extinct. Yeah,
Yeah, about.
we both are.
I'll ask anyone in
You got
Australia.
more evidence for a dodo.
Yeah, you have got Ranty. You've got two Aussies right now in the chat to be able to confirm anything you need to know from the other side of the world.
Well, I'm still
My
trying to
bear
figure
in
out
mind,
about
it's-
the heavenly
it's hot and
bodies
late.
out there. Is there a South Pole point around which everything rotates, or does it just move over the horizon?
Oh, sorry. It's not Ranty, it's Owen. Of course. This is why the world isn't actually flat. is
No,
because
that's not what I asked. I'm
down
asking
here-
you about
I'm
observation.
so sorry.
let him
Stop
answer.
talking.
Arwen,
Just
Arwen,
asking a question.
you let him
Do they
answer.
Arwen, I have to
rotate
apologise. I don't have that. I
or
have
do
not
Arwen,
done
let
that.
him
move over
answer.
the horizon? This is what I'm asking.
Arwen, you're not letting
Okay,
anybody
but-
speak. You're
but
dominating the
Arwen,
conversation
you
at the moment.
just
Can you
asked
let
a
people
question.
answer you?
And down here, what we do is if we look south, we can see it's not so much a pole star. It's not so much something right in the center of the rotation, which you would call the North Star up there. But we have this thing called the Southern Cross, and it is crazy obvious. It's on banks. It's on the Commonwealth Bank use. It's on the flag.
It's on a bloody flag.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's on the bloody flag. It's crazy obvious, the Southern Cross. And that rotates around every night.
All right, so it is a
That's
fixed
true.
point in your observation.
There's also
No, the Southern Cross isn't fixed.
Now,
there's also a
what I'm asking,
24-hour
does
sun
it
in
move
Antarctica.
over the horizon, like in a line, or is it a center point around which the globe of the heavens rotates? Which one is it?
No.
Is it a
I'm
point,
sorry,
or
I
is it
gonna
just?
say
No,
that
no,
it's like we don't actually have like a center point. We don't have down here. We don't have a thing like
Not
the
visible to the human
Polaris.
eye.
Not visible.
Exactly.
How would
exactly.
it not be
we
visible
don't have a
at
thing
some
that you can
point?
just like see. But there's a very, very obvious constellation that rotates around that center point. So we know there's a center point, but
How
there
far
just
from
isn't actually a
theoretical
star there.
center point does it rotate? How wide is the arc? of this-
What kind of question is that? That doesn't make any sense. How
What do you
wide
mean?
is the arc of what?
What I'm asking is if there is a literal point in the south, just like the
Yes.
North Star point
Yes.
around which the globe of the heavens rotate,
Yes.
or does it just move across the
Yes.
horizon?
No, yes,
Owen, I
there
think you
is
asked-
a literal point
Ha-
that
hang
all
on.
rotates
Okay, so
around.
you're saying it is a
Hang on,
fixed
hang on.
point around which
I
there is a
think
rotation.
Owen's
that's
asking
all
the
I
wrong
wanted
question.
to know. That's just the question. So
Owen,
But-
do you not believe that the Earth is a rectangle, repeating rectangle?
what?
Do you believe the Earth is a repeating rectangle or something like that? I might
believe
have it
the
wrong.
Earth is
Please correct
very
me.
likely rectangular looping. Yes.
Yeah, a looping rectangle, sorry.
Mhm.
So, does that mean there's a North Star that everything rotates around and a South Star that everything rotates around?
Not necessarily. I'm not sure about that yet.
Then how do the stars work in the rotating?
They're
How do
holographic.
the stars rotate? Oh, they're holographic.
Yeah, they are.
So,
Hold on. Wait,
so
there's
that's,
no evidence.
that's
There's no evidence.
No, there
that
is.
South-
Hang on, is that-
evidence. There
is
is
that-
an
Wait,
abundance of
hang
evidence
on,
that
hang
they
on.
are holographic.
Can I just wait? There's no evidence.
hang on, is that a theory or is that
No, that
real?
the
How can you prove
heavens are
that?
holographic is more than just a theory.
I want to talk about the South Pole. There's certainly no evidence that there's a celestial South Pole.
That's ridiculous. We've got people in the chat right now that can look at the celestial South Pole. That's
I
ridiculous.
would say
What's there?
There's-
Sorry, what's
so
there?
there is
When they
a
look at the
South
pole point.
pole star, but there are circumpolar stars in the southern hemisphere, which basically
Sure, but I just want to ask Josh,
Still
if
makes
they
it
look directly
Right.
at the point that they rotate around, what will they
Can-
see?
Can we just have him repeat what he just said right before you?
me.
Yeah.
I would say there's not a celestial pole star
Thank you.
in the southern hemisphere, but there's still circumpolar stars in the southern hemisphere, which is basically, I mean, that's pretty tough
No,
to.
that's fine. Like, I'm not saying there is a South Pole star, but what I'm trying to figure out if there is like a visible, literal point around which everything obviously rotates, like a center point around which the stars heaven rotates.
I've not done the
Or it
time-lapse
just-
photography to
it is
find it,
assumed to be
but
as-
I have read
because
that
I have-
there
Can I
is
please finish? Can I
one, but
please
it's not
finish?
visible.
Can I please
Oh,
finish?
sorry.
Can I please
My
finish?
apologies. Go ahead.
I'm deducing
Arwen, you've been
if
interrupting
there is a
everyone.
center point around which
No, let him
rotates,
talk.
or it just appears to be
Well,
like
Ruin,
that.
And joined
And
by
it's a
Rules
wider arc
18.
because I
How you doing,
finished.
Rules? How you doing, Rules? Can you hear us?
Hey, rules.
I'm gonna have to boot you because you couldn't shut up, Arwen.
I think he got rid of Arwen.
Arwen gone? That's bad. It takes so long for flat earthers to get to their point. Arwen, are you still there?
Where's Owen?
Alexis. Hello.
They've been
Are all
talking
the
about
shot
Alex.
callers gone
How you
again?
doing, Alex?
We have no shot callers.
Alex.
I'm here.
Paging shot callers. Ballers.
I'm here. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
So Arwen got booted by one of the snipers, and it's his own fault because he couldn't shut up long enough to actually let me say hello to the sniper. So, you know, it's like if someone joins, I need you to immediately shut up, because if I don't say hello and they don't say hello back, they can remove you, which is exactly what's happened to Arwen. So he just kept on talking, ignored me completely, then he got booted by a sniper. So it's his own fault.
Hey, Nathan, I didn't get a hello, but thank you so much for just, like, remembering that I'm really a real guy. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew you were real, Josh.
Yeah, I'm a real guy. I saw my video up again recently. Someone else just, like, threw it up there again. It was a bit weird. Sorry, I that was weird. I just broke down the conversation. Like, Nathan, I guess I'm talking to you. Oh my God, I've been listening to you guys go on about the Isle of Man stuff, whatever. Why don't you guys think about the stars? Like, can someone just please give me a concise reason as to why the stars don't matter?
Well, what happens in the sky doesn't necessarily dictate what you're standing on.
But
Yeah,
do you get that for like thousands of years, people have been navigating and like locating themselves on the Earth via the stars?
That's right.
That's how it's been happening for thousands of years. People have, imagine you're even like lost in the ocean and you cannot see land in any direction, and you're like fucking freaking out. Like there's no land
Please
anywhere.
don't
Where
swear.
do we go?
Please don't swear, Josh.
Okay, good point.
Be careful,
So,
Josh.
yeah, okay. No, all of those good points. Thank you. And now, so we're in the middle of
Apologise
the
for your
ocean.
swearing.
Apologizing. And now we're in the middle of the ocean, and we are just, we've got nothing. We've got no idea where land is. And people found out how to get home by following the stars home.
What's your position, Josh? I'm confused.
I don't get how any of you can refute the fact that the stars dictate where we are on Earth.
I would agree 100%. I mean, think about astrology. Astrology has been working for, what, 2,500 years? You can plainly see that all the stars move in unison, and that the spatial relationship that makes up a constellation, for example, never changes, that the entire constellation moves completely
I 100%
together.
agree. And I also agree as well. This is one of those flat earth arguments that gets all messed up. Is because there's a flat earth argument that says like, oh, the stars haven't changed for thousands of years, and that proves the earth is flat. And you're like, oh, okay then.
I would agree.
If the stars haven't changed for thousands of years, then that must mean that that's a perfectly good tool to use to find yourself on the planet.
Agreed, 100%. And it's worked
I'm
for
back right
thousands
away,
of years.
So can I get a flat earther, please, to address this?
Address what?
This is me. I'm here. What are you talking about? It sounds like you're making a flat earth proof to me.
No, not at all. So hang on. So, okay,
Who wants to
perfect. So you're
explain this
saying
so
that you're a
constant?
flat earther, and you're saying that the stars have never changed in 1,000 years, and people have been using the stars to find themselves on Earth in that 1,000 years.
Correct, which means that the stars are not moving independently. They are not rotating in all other kinds of orbits and in different speeds. They are moving in one unison as if they are in a dome fixated within some sort of, screen moving together.
Can you comprehend distances, though?
How can you possibly comprehend a southern pole star in that model?
No southern pole star. That's what your round earther
Don't be
just told us.
stupid. I'm in Melbourne, Australia.
What is it?
I'm down here.
No southern.
Every night, tonight.
What does it
I'm
matter?
in night right now, and you're in daytime, I'm guessing. And I'm looking at the night, and I'm seeing the stars move clockwise to my position. And tonight, you're going to see them moving counterclockwise.
That's not what you just said. You're a moving target right now. That's not what you just said. You said that there is a southern
Sigma
celestial pole
Octantis.
star. There is no North Pole star in the South Pole. Okay, there is nothing. There's no polarity. That is exactly what you said.
There
How
should
Sigma
be a
Octantis.
North Pole star visible in the south. Yet there
Southern
is.
Pole Star.
Not
Sigma
a southern pole
Octantis.
star. Yes, that you can see well. I said that there is a Southern Cross, a constellation that circles around that star. How could you just put words in my mouth like that?
Yeah.
You said there was a celestial
I'm
pole
gonna say this
star.
even as a.
I
It
will
is.
read. I will
It's one
read.
close by.
I will read from Ask an Astronomer. There is no South Star. It's just a coincidence that there happens to be a bright star close to the celestial North Pole. The southern hemisphere isn't so lucky.
Okay, sure, that's step one in your logic world. Step two is
It's
that
a priori.
there is,
Step one is
there
a
is still
priori.
a point in the southern hemisphere where all the stars rotate around. Can you reach step two? Come on, come with me. Go from
What
step
does it
one to
matter?
step two.
It's a
Come with
globe
me.
of the heavens.
So-
it's out
If
there.
there
what
is
point
a
does this make the
reflection,
ground
would
fall
that
away?
answer that question just as well?
The
Especially
reflection,
considering that there is.
you might be talking about my video, man. I literally tried as hard as I could to figure out how a southern celestial pole could work on a
You
flat
haven't
Earth
seen
model.
the disco ball. You haven't
It's
seen
very
the disco ball.
easy. It's
yet.
holographic.
You
That's
don't
how it works.
understand it. If you think a disco ball can map it, you don't understand it.
All you
It's
have to
all
imitate is the
holographic. When you go up
rotation
high enough,
of a-
the stars
all
all
you have to do is
disappear
imitate
anyway.
the
There's no
reflection of a
explanation
rotation. That's it.
whatsoever
And
if
it's been
you
proven
want
on
to
video
literalize the
pretty
heavenly
easily.
bodies. So
You actually don't
Now you have to explain to
understand
me.
it.
Now you have to explain to me why these stars don't change spatial relationships with each other
there's no
over
point.
thousands of years.
There's actually no point because you don't actually
okay. There's no
understand
point.
the problem.
So
But you don't actually
geocentrism is no problem
understand.
for you, right? Am I right? Geocentrism is no problem for you then, right?
It only becomes a problem when you want to introduce other stars and wandering stars and gravity and all that sort of stuff. But for the basic, if you did one night observation,
It's just a yes or
one
no
single
question.
night,
It appears to me
one
that your
single day.
position is that geocentrism is fine according to your reality right now. And I'm okay with that if you're going to agree with that.
No, you didn't even let me finish. I just said that if you were to take one single snapshot, like you went click right now, this is like a 360-degree snapshot of all of everything you can see and everyone else. Sure, geocentrism might cover it. But if you were to take 2, 3, 4, 5 and did it in a week from now, you would find that there's shit in geocentrism that doesn't work out.
Such as.
But that's not even the point. You
Okay. It's
do
never
you-
the
do
point
you-
with you,
do-
is it? The first
No,
point
no, no,
wasn't
do
the
you-
point. The second point wasn't the point. Let's try
Do
this
you
point
still-
then, okay?
Do you
Let's try
still,
this
as
point.
like
Hang
a
on,
northern,
hang on.
northerner, do you not agree
Hang
that
on.
there's a southern celestial pole?
No. Now, let's try this.
Why? Why? There's like millions
Why?
and millions of
because
people
I have
down
a
here that
Polaris.
all agree.
Because there is Polaris, and Polaris lines up directly with our North Pole. There is nothing
So?
like that in the South Pole. What is
Yes,
so
there
hard
is.
to understand?
That doesn't mean
No,
anything.
there's not. Go ahead and look
Yes,
it up
there
if
is.
you want to. What is it?
I did.
What is it? Please
Sigma
read this.
Octantis, he said.
Yeah.
Can you show us a picture?
It's close to the South Pole. It's not exactly above it like your North Star
Right.
Polaris is.
Not like Polaris.
Do you have a
exactly.
picture?
So
Not
Can
what
you
like
are you
show us?
Polaris,
talking about?
but it's
Can you show us
close
a
What are
enough
you
picture?
to
talking about?
make the estimations.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. I see
No,
Orion.
why are
Hang
you
on.
even talking?
I see
just,
Orion.
Just you're offended
all
that we
year.
don't have a star at our South Pole. and
Polaris-
you're with a star at North Pole.
Polaris
exactly
is
what that
hey
means.
Polaris.
I'm offended by
If you
that.
want to get technical, Polaris isn't technically right on the
Yes.
no
Yes, it is.
no it's not.
Or else you're tilted. Yes, it
it's
is.
not
No, it's not.
relevant
Exactly,
to the
T-Mars.
conversation.
It's not
Exactly.
technically right on the pole. So because
Exactly.
and
So you don't
over
have one. I
time
mean, we don't have one. Big
over
deal.
time
Orion,
it will change to a
Orion
different
is in
pole
my
star.
sky all year long.
No, it's not.
When isn't it?
It's got nothing to do
Tell me when it's not. You're going to tell me 2 weeks in June when it's 5 a.m. in my sky? 2 weeks in June, 5 a.m. in my sky. It's in my
I look
sky
at Orion. I look at
year.
That's not true. I look at Orion every night, and half the year.
What
you
night
can't
isn't
see
it?
it.
Okay, every night, guy. What night isn't it out there? It's supposed to be 2 weeks in June. I'll tell you that. But you know what?
Hey, you're
Call
not
me in 2
providing
weeks in
any
June, and I'll
citations
show you
for
where
any
it's
of
at.
your assertions, so I will not either, sir.
All right.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Orion is in my sky. The constellations
You're
haven't
breaking up.
changed for 4,000 years, which tells us that there's no independent moving bodies out there in space, which tells me that the solar
What about
system is
retrograde?
garbage.
What about
How do you know
retrograde
that?
movement of the planets?
The solar
happens
system
there?
is garbage.
The
Boys,
only
how
thing
do you
that
know they've not
changes,
changed
the
for
only thing that moves
4,000
differently
years?
is the wandering stars. Now let's figure out what the wandering stars are doing. Venus
The wandering
is making
stars are garbage.
Hang on. The
do you
Venus is
mean?
making a pentagon. If you trace Venus throughout the year, it's making a pentagram in our sky. You please tell me WTF what that is.
Sounds like garbage.
A weird
Holographic bodies
anomaly
out
of
there
our
on
universe.
planets, they follow
Have you not
specific patterns
realized
in accordance
that
to
there
the
are like a
astrological
million
chart as the
anomalies
ancients
in our
have
universe
deduced
that just are
for
so
over
weird?
I don't,
1,000
because I don't
years.
live my life that way.
We
I don't
never
live
even
my
know
life
about them unless
by
we were here, but
mysterious
we're here, so we
anomalies.
hear
No,
about them.
I don't go
Wow,
through life
wow, that
accepting.
anomaly, wow.
I don't go through life accepting mysterious anomalies. You guys look at mirages and think, oh, that's a mirage. That's not real.
Yeah,
I don't
but
see
you
what's in front of
don't
my
even
eyes.
think
I
that
don't
there
live
is a
life like that.
southern pole. So
There is no southern
you're done.
pole. There's
You're
no
done.
southern pole. There's no.
We're
southern
down
pole.
here.
There's
There
no
are two of
southern
us
pole.
on this panel that
Okay.
can
Very
look at the
shouty, yeah.
southern pole.
All right.
Okay,
Ah,
get a
this
little
is
bit
just-
more high pitched.
All right.
But
I'm
that's
sorry, it's probably me. It's just this guy.
Okay.
He's being stupid.
Yeah,
We've
tell me
got
this.
two guys
Tell me
around
this.
here. that
Let's
can
put it
confirm
all together.
a
Let's put your
pole.
southern pole
How
and
are
your
you saying
gravity
there's no
together.
southern pole?
Okay, calm down. Let's
This
just put
guy's
your
a southern pole dancer.
Let's put your
Even-
southern pole and your gravity together.
Southern
Let's put them
pole.
I've
together.
just proved that you've only got one shoe on.
Can I just put your southern pole and gravity
You
together?
have only got
So
one shoe on.
we have centrifugal force, right?
There's only one shoe because I just said it and you didn't
It's
say it.
centrifugal
Dude,
force.
don't get
It's
booted.
centrifugal
Hey,
force.
Go
can you
easy,
guys
Josh.
please stop
Greater
talking over
or
each other?
less
Nobody can hear
at the
anything you're
poles.
saying this
Is
way.
centrifugal force greater or less at the poles?
If you want me to take you seriously, you're gonna have to put your other shoe on.
Is centrifugal force greater
I don't know. I haven't
or
measured it.
smaller than at the poles? Greater or
I don't know.
smaller
I haven't
centrifugal force
measured
at
it.
the poles?
At
I
the
haven't
You
measured
can't
poles,
figure it out.
at the poles,
You
it
can't
is
figure it out.
smaller.
Thank you very much.
I don't know. I haven't
so at
been
the
there. Haven't
equator,
measured it.
at the equator, you have a greater chance, right,
It does depend how many
of
shoes you have. on.
flying off the world, right? Right?
Pardon?
At the equator, you have a greater chance of flying off the world.
The world's not spinning.
Is that right
A
or wrong?
greater chance of flying off the world at the equator. Is that what you just said?
Have you heard of flying humanoids?
Do you know what centrifugal force is?
How do you take?
I've heard of flying
How
hemorrhoids.
is it?
You guys,
How is
okay?
it even
This is what
possible
you.
to
This is
take
what you
that one-
degrade to.
You
You
it's 'cause you've
start
got
making
one
up
shoe.
fourth grade words like hemorrhoids because you can't figure out centrifugal force at the
Who
top
asked
of your
about flying
brain
hemorrhoids?
because you have no idea right now, right?
Humanoids. Flying humanoids.
pretty simple.
I saw a new
Centrifugal
video
force.
uploaded with someone flying over Mexico.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
near the
how to
equator.
fly. I'd like to know
Without
how to
wearing a
fly.
We've
cape?
already figured it out.
I wanna
Centrifugal
fly.
force is greater at the equator.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how
totally.
is your
You never
gravity-
see that happening up near the poles.
Okay, so is gravity pulling us down harder at the equator than it is, at the North Pole? Is that what's going on?
Hey, P. Mars, how
I
many
think-
shoes did the flyer have on?
Yeah, I believe there's a weight difference between the equator and the as you get closer to the poles. I'm not sure of the science. I'm not a scientist.
No, of course
I
there
just saw
is.
the
Like
full
the world is wider
Like,
at the equator, so there's more
Right.
mass there. There's more mass,
and
so,
so-
there's
More mass there.
there's more mass, so there's more force.
So you're this person who believes that the middle of the ball is bulging, right?
Don't even take that time with me. You don't even think there's a southern celestial point where you've got two
Well, I
guys
mean,
in
look,
from
you're gonna tell
Melbourne,
me the NASA
Australia,
photos are
in
real.
the
You're gonna
panel
tell me-
right
You're going
now
to tell me
to
the
tell
NASA
you
photos are
that
real
we
on one
cannot
hand, and then
see
you're going to tell me that
Polaris.
the
In
equator
our
The
is
Earth
night
is
bulge.
sky,
stationary.
we cannot see
Gyroscopes
Polaris,
prove
and in our
this.
night sky, we can see our south celestial point with our
Because
southern cross
You're
rotating
too
around it.
far away from Polaris. You're too far away.
Oh, yeah, good call, man. Hey, you nailed it. You're the smartest guy here.
Too far away from Polaris
Uh,
for us to see it on a flat Earth. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Is that how I'm understanding it?
That's
Am I understanding
correct.
that correct?
You are getting it.
So how close do I have to? How close do you have to be to the South Pole to see? What's the star called again? The one Sigma
There's
Octangent.
these things called Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. They're pretty good delineation.
I'm going to do a quick link as we have approximately 1 hour left on this broadcast. Hope you're enjoying the debate thus far. If you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it is live. But most importantly, if you would like to join the panel to express your views on the shape of the Earth, simply click the link in the info box. Be sure to mute the page you are currently watching and say a big hello when you join the panel. Otherwise you will be removed on the assumption that you are doing something nefarious, as is probably going on right now while I do this link. If you've not done so already, please share the show, as sharing increases the live audience, of course, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate.
Multiple space agencies lies, basically.
Well, let's take
and-
two, for example. The U.S. and the Russians, we don't even have a shuttle. We're taking the Russians' ride to our secrets missions up in space, right? So there's two countries that are working together in collusion. That brings 2 out of, I think, the 7 that have been to space. So yeah, this is the easiest psyop of all time. Because there's such a limited amount of people that have access to this.
I don't understand how like a pilot can fly a plane from point A to point B if he doesn't know what the shape of the Earth is. It seems like people wouldn't be able to navigate if they were deceived on the shape.
That's because all of that. That's easy. All the navigation systems are set up to make it look like a globe when you're actually on a flat Earth. Is that right?
But they didn't always have computers to do that. So
yeah,
what about before?
It worked in the early days. No plane had to dip their nose. Jet fighters can fly very low to sea level without a big problem.
Guys, think about the more logical thing about an airplane. You see these fighter jets, right? You've seen them fly the deck. How far off the deck can they fly? I mean, they are right on the deck. You think they're compensating for the globe bending away from them? They are on the deck covering hundreds of football fields a second. It is a flat deck.
I'm just gonna say this regarding the southern constellations or whatever. The fact that the elliptical constellations progress throughout the year, yet in the southern hemisphere, there are circumpolar stars like the Southern Cross that can essentially be seen all year. To me, it kind of throws away the idea that the AE projection is accurate. Now, my prediction is that one of these days, the AE projection is going to find a compensation for this, but I think that compensation is going to be 1, unfalsifiable, and 2, not observational. And like, so for example, when I'm pretty sure y'all saw that video when Jeranism had made that video and said that if there was some dome-like structure, it would compensate for the southern or the anti-clockwise rotation of the southern hemisphere. And to me, it does compensate for it, but I've never seen that before. I never experienced that before. And I think if we start accepting those premises, then we're basically doing what the globes are doing and just accepting things that we don't observe.
Hey, Bigger, how can you possibly think that there's something that's going to come up that's unobservational and unfalsifiable and unintelligible, and still and think that that somehow makes more sense than something that makes complete sense already?
But the problem is, you're eventually going to hit. You're going to hit a barrier. Eventually, you're going to need to go into space to look at it.
There is no
all this
barrier.
Circumstantial talking and whatever you want to call it. You're going to have to go into space, full stop. And you can do that hopefully soon with Virgin Galactic. So everyone should put in $10 to Nathan, and we'll send him on Virgin Galactic.
That's never going to happen.
To chip in,
I'll
and
tell
he
you
can
now.
come back. And he can come. Well, if it doesn't happen, we get our money back.
You're looking at it the wrong way, because Nathan actually knows that the Earth is a globe.
Don't send Nathan. Send someone who's honest.
That's a good
He's
one.
Hey,
just
I got an
doing
honest
this
question for
Put it
both
on the
of
road.
you.
Nathan knows the Earth
He
is a
just wants to
globe.
sort of make
yet we
money and
spend
do what he
months
does. This is
going in your
this is
faces.
just
Well, you
fun
have to
little
research
argument.
flat Earth properly.
Ireland past Isle of
What's
Man.
holding us?
But
what's
Nathan
holding
knows
us
it's a
back
globe.
No
from-
such
You're
thing
totally
as
delusional.
researching flat Earth properly. Like, okay,
That's my point,
even
man.
boil it down from the stars. Let's just say sunrise and sunset. Are you literally going to tell me that Rob Skiba's video of like a magnifying glass moving back and forth? That's proof. That's enough
Well, that's
for
my
you.
point, man.
Honest
If you
question. Honest
research it
question.
properly, you'll find
Does
out.
anyone know about
don't work.
drones? Is it possible to get a drone from Australia to Antarctica, slip past?
Of course
Military?
not. That's so dumb, man. Drones. What? They're like battery powered. They can go maybe
I know.
max.
I was
2
wondering
or
if
Yeah, they don't have that
about
much of a
something.
reach, really.
Why
I
would you
know.
even say something
I
so
was hope-
stupid?
Honestly, I was
They would-
hoping
you
that
could
somebody
do it,
knows
but you'd
about
have to
drones.
accompany it with a boat.
You think someone
To
at the
stay
bottom
in
of
range.
Australia could fly a
And you'll
drone
get
to
stopped by the
Antarctica?
military
That is
eventually.
the
So.
Well, there's
dumbest
another
thing.
problem with that too.
I know the limitations, but I'm wondering if someone's. I mean, this seems like to be an easy way to break through. Like a manned mission is
No, it
really
won't,
hard.
because it'll get because the ice wall's constantly monitored and the drone will get shot down.
I talked to a guy.
There's
Isn't
the
it-
Antarctica
isn't there
Treaty.
like
You're not
100,000
allowed
soldiers?
to
It's,
go
re-
there.
it's
on
really
mission.
it's really easy
So
to
you
go
can
to
try it,
Antarctica,
but you'll be
actually. You
stopped.
should actually do research.
Yes, but we want to circumnavigate Antarctica.
Why don't you could just observe the 24-hour sun in case closed.
Hey, multi
Oh,
tom
yeah,
tom,
that
I'm not
proves
drunk.
everything.
I wish I was.
I mean, I
Sorry,
don't know why they
I
have to doctor
digress.
up every single video of the 24-hour sun. Why can't we get a 24-hour stream?
But you don't even need that. You don't
Okay.
even need that.
You
Like,
don't
do
need
you know
that.
Well, hang on. Why
Can
don't
I
we?
just, hey, you American guy,
why
whoever
don't
you
we
are,
need that?
do you know what I did one day? Is I just plotted,
You
right?
can't
I
just
plotted
say
on
that we don't need that. That's a vital part of our information. Of course,
blah
we
blah
need
blah
it.
blah.
Nobody is
ranty, weirdo
researching
guy.
flat Earth. It's not
We have
legitimate.
thousands of videos of the northern midnight sun. Thousands.
Do you know what you could do just on a simple graph? Is you can just go online, you can look up sun and sun and date, whatever it's called, sun and times, whatever, and you can
Midnight
just
sun?
no, date and time. That's the one. And you can plot. And I did this one day just for fun.
Yeah,
I
you're
plotted
welcome.
latitude up and down on the y-axis and time of the sunlight on the left and right axis. And if you just go like, oh, Yeshua, fucking this one, and you plot it in there, you plot it in there, you plot it in there. How much hours of sun did they get? And lo and behold, you get a sine wave curve. That's the way it works out. The whole world works
Yeah, but
out
that's on-
perfectly on a sphere. Yet all you flat earthers have to figure out and manufacture ridiculous ways
Well,
to
wait a
make
minute.
it work on a
Who's
flat Earth.
manufacturing?
Josh.
Because
So why
in
isn't there
plane
any earth curve
geometry, it
blocking our
doesn't
view?
work, right? That's not plane geometry.
We've got
What's plane
The
geometry?
funny thing
You
about
learn
that,
from me.
Josh, is you worked it out on a flat.
In plane geometry,
On a flat
the
picture.
sun is 3,000 miles high. You're using
No. I'm just
trigono-
talking about literally. Okay,
No,
do
no,
you
no,
guys
no, no, no.
believe
No,
that
In plane
timeanddate.com
geometry-
is wrong? Is that what you guys believe? That timeanddate.com is wrong?
yes, absolutely.
Like-
I've
like-
proven
go with
it.
the information.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
so I've
Nathan,
tested it.
thank you for popping up again.
Well, I've tested it.
You've said it again.
I've tested
I
it.
know
Yes,
I've asked
it is
you once
absolutely
before that, like, you've
unequivocally
had, like, a time
incorrect.
and date,
You seem to be
like, you know,
talking over me,
decline.
Josh.
And it was
So
in,
you've
like,
asked a question,
somewhere
I'm
within a
answering you, you're
5-hour
just talking
video.
over me. Sorry, you asked if time and date's correct. No, absolutely unequivocally, it is not accurate.
And I've asked you before, Nathan, please, can you just put that presentation that you have about time and date being wrong?
Sorry,
in a
I don't.
5-minute
You've asked me a
in
question.
little
Is it
video?
accurate? And I've told you no. Now you're telling me prove it to me by going to a video where I've proven it to myself. If you don't accept that, tough. It is not accurate.
Okay, look, Nathan, you can get angry if you want to get angry. That's
Not
fine.
angry, just
But-
stating facts.
but-
You've asked a question. Is it accurate? No, it's not.
No, but really, like, if you want to actually prove that it's wrong, to,
I have,
like, the great
just not to
world,
you, and I don't
you
care if
do
you
it
accept it or
quickly,
not. I have
succinctly,
proven it
and
to
with
plenty of people.
intelligence.
The videos have been viewed by 11,000, 12,000 people, or 12,000
Oh,
views.
yeah.
So other people have seen time and date fail. Simply because you haven't seen it, I couldn't give a toss.
Oh, wow. Okay, Nathan, wow, you're getting angry already. That's weird.
Again, not
I would
angry,
suggest
just
to you,
stating facts.
Just put it
Just
into
stating
a
facts,
simple
not
video
anger.
that makes
Matter
perfect
of
sense.
fact.
A video that you can just
Matter of
present to
fact,
anyone
not
and go,
anger.
bam,
Matter of
bam,
fact.
this is
You don't
why
have to
Time
like
Date
the
is wrong.
facts, Josh. You don't have to like it. I know you worship these programs and assume they are correct. They aren't.
No, Nathan, look, Nathan, I thought I was going to get a bit more respect from you, being the fact that I was a flat
You asked a
earther and I
direct
tried
question and
my
I answered
hardest
it.
to
Is
make
it
this
correct?
stuff
No,
work.
it isn't. Now you're accusing me of getting angry. I'm just stating a fact. No, time and date is not accurate. I have tested it, personally.
Well, yeah, but that's just anecdotal, Nathan.
Sorry,
you, like,
yes, it
what
is
qualifications do
anecdotal,
you have
but
to
there
test
are
it?
tens of thousands of people who
Personal.
have witnessed it. We did it live. There were plenty of participants. The fact that you weren't involved doesn't concern me in the slightest.
Yeah, but Nathan, don't you understand?
That's it,
This
mate.
is not
Yes,
about
I do
you.
understand
This is
implicitly.
actually
Time and
about
date is
all
not
of us.
accurate.
This
How
is
many
about
times do you need
all
me
of
to
the
state it to
globe
you?
believers
Yes,
out there.
I do
You need to
understand.
prove it to us.
You don't seem to understand. You seem to assume it's accurate. Have you tested timeanddate.com, Josh?
Yeah, in the fact that I
What
do
have you
my
done?
job,
Tell
I
us all about
spot
your
cities
test.
all over
What have
Australia,
you
and I
done
look at time
to
and
verify
date, and
it?
works.
What have you done?
It's accurate.
What have you done?
I travel around and I have to
You
look at what
individually,
time the
well, I
sun's
did it with a
coming
team
up.
of people all over the world simultaneously live. I think that trumps your looking at it with your own eyes in one place from a few different locations,
Nathan,
Josh.
please just show
No, it's
me.
in multiple
please,
places,
Nathan,
Nathan.
show me that video
Alan
that
B.
you put
Go and have a
together.
look.
The-
Hi,
the-
Alan B. How you
the
doing?
one-
Can you hear us?
Alan?
Can you hear us,
But
Alan?
Nathan, could you just show me that one video, that one little 5-minute video where you debunk
One little
time and
5-minute
date?
video. No, it
That
takes
would be an
longer than
awesome
5 minutes,
video,
Josh.
Nathan. That
Takes
would
longer
get
than 5 minutes to
100,000
track the sun for
views,
24
Nathan.
hours. Do you have a problem with time? 24 hours we tracked it for, not 5 minutes. If you don't want to sit through it, I don't care.
Do you have a problem with not having 500 million views on the one video that debunked timeanddate.com?
Yeah, I haven't got 500 million views. It doesn't change what we saw at all.
No, but you could, Nathan. Don't you understand? Same as
Yeah,
your
you
Isle of
keep
Man
saying, don't you
nonsense.
understand?
If you
I understand that time and
actually
date
did
doesn't
it,
work, Josh.
You would get a million views.
So
you would
what?
go viral.
Argument from ad populum. Right, so
Here's
if more
one
people
man-
saw it, you'd trust it, would
here's
you?
one man in
Would it
prison
change
that
the data
debunked
if more
time and
people
date.com.
watched it? Would it change the data if more people watched?
He's got a point. Josh has got a point.
What, more people should watch to change the data that we've captured?
No. He's saying that if you were right with your debunking of time and date, you would have got millions and millions of views. You would have gone viral.
Total horseshit.
Is it?
How?
Because the video gets a lot of views.
We have
Oh,
kangaroos here,
legitimate?
mate. It's kangaroo
Is that the
poo.
logic here?
Well, your argument is useless. The information, if one person sees it or a million people see it, is the same. It makes no difference how many people see it. It's a total rubbish argument. The fact remains, plenty of people have participated,
believe that.
in debunking
Am I right?
timeanddate.com as being accurate. It isn't. Plenty of people have seen it. If you haven't, tough. You know, you can trust it all you like. I don't, because I've debunked it sufficiently for me and all the people watching. If you don't want to watch it,
Nathan,
tough.
did you take
Like
your
I care.
information to
I don't care.
timeanddate.com
Trust it.
and ask him?
Good for you, mate. Trust what they tell you.
Was it
Good
all
for
flat
you.
earthers watching it?
Me, I test stuff. You just trust stuff.
Was it all one?
Trust
you know
it if enough
what
people
sort of
watch
people
it,
watch it,
right?
Nathan?
Enough people watch it, you'll trust it, so trust the BBC. Plenty of people
just
watch
trying to get
that.
a-
Every word must be true.
Nathan, did you take your debunk to Time and Date? Have they changed their website based upon your...
Again, like with you, Josh, I don't care. I have sufficiently satisfied my own understanding. You can trust whoever you like. Me, I don't care what Time and Date think.
What? But that's weird.
It's
Why
the
wouldn't you?
music.
Why wouldn't you take your amazing findings?
Did you not
to
listen?
the
Are you
website
deaf?
that
Do you have a
put it out
hearing
wrong?
problem? Are you drunk? I don't care whether Time and Date know
A little
this.
bit.
Don't care.
And you're like, you're a truth seeker. You're trying to find the truth.
Yeah,
but
for
you
me.
don't care.
For me and an audience. The
Josh,
audience at the time were
being an
watching
Aussie,
Time and
Josh.
Date get debunked. At the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
proving the
Melbourne
Earth is
guy.
flat with images that demonstrate it to be flat, and you're talking about things in the sky. Well, if you can demonstrate how the things in the sky translate to a curved Earth, I'd be all ears. So far, you've provided nothing.
I'm talking about
4 years.
your random assertion that you debunked timeanddate.com.
You asked a direct
And
question.
if you had debunked
Yeah, you asked a direct question. Is time and date
why
accurate?
wouldn't you take
The answer
that
is no.
To the authorities.
Yeah, you can trust
literally take
all
that
the
to
people you like.
police or something.
I trust
Josh,
my
he doesn't
own
care.
research. That's it. You don't have to. I'm not asking
Josh.
you to. You asked a question. Is
Josh,
it
you have
accurate?
to-
The answer is no. Now, you don't have to trust my opinion or assertion. I don't care.
But
In the same way, I don't care if time and date trust my assertion.
You, Nathan, if you don't even want to verify it for yourself.
I have. That's exactly what I've done. Unlike you,
No,
I don't
you
assume time and
haven't.
date is accurate.
He's done it,
I've
Josh.
tested it.
He's done it for himself, Josh. It's not necessarily correct or incorrect. Probably not correct, but he's done it for himself.
Look, obviously, most likely not correct, and doesn't actually have the balls to take it to the
That's-
authority to try and challenge it.
I don't
And
care what
that's
the
a
authority
classic
says. How many
flat earther right
times do
there.
I have to tell you? Why do you care what the authority thinks? Like the
He
people who are
doesn't care.
saying, why don't you write to this, that, and the other magazine? And the answer's simple. I don't read that
Nathan doesn't
magazine
care,
or
man.
care what they say.
But
Josh, don't worry
Nathan,
about it.
Nathan, don't you understand? The authority is just—it's not an authority. It's literally every single person over the world that wakes up every day and before they go to bed, they look at timeanddate.com and they go, oh, what time's the sun coming up tomorrow? And they see what time's the sun coming tomorrow, and it's accurate.
No, that's
And all of a
incorrect.
sudden,
How many
here's
times do I have to
Nathan
tell
that
you? You
comes
seem
out
to
and
be
says,
deaf.
"Oh, yeah, I've
We have
debunked
done
that. Go search the
exactly
5-hour
that.
video and have
You
a
seem
look
to
at
be a
how I've
moron,
debunked it."
Josh. The more I talk to you, the more stupid you seem. I have just told you we have done precisely what you have just described. Exactly that. People have got up, looked at time and date, gone out and checked if the sun is in the correct position, and it isn't.
So take
I've
it
seen
to
a-
someone,
a,
Nathan. This sounds like really big news. Take it to
Nah, not
someone.
to me. Not to me. I know they lie. You trust them. So to me,
Oh,
it
it's
wasn't
not to
big
me.
news.
Oh, no,
Same
no,
way
okay, I
that
don't
when this
wanna-
photograph demonstrated
I'd
the
rather
Earth to be
keep
flat,
nonsense
that
just
wasn't big
rolling
news
on
to me.
and
I
on
already
and
knew.
on and on and
I
on.
have already satisfied my own
excuse
opinion
me.
in that regard. It's not a shock that time and date lie. Not a shock
Nathan,
at
how
all.
many people did this measurement around the world?
I don't know. Lots. Hundreds.
Lots.
Hundreds, yes.
Right. Hundreds?
Yeah,
Hundreds.
hundreds.
Can we say hundreds or thousands? Would you say
Hundreds.
thousands?
How many times do I need to say the word hundreds?
Would you go that high?
Yeah, that's why I've said it.
I
I'm just
would
I'm
love
just
to see a
double-checking.
short list of those hundreds.
Well, yeah, if you
I'm
went in
just
and look, you
double-checking.
could check for yourself,
So
but you
hundreds
want me
of
to
people,
condense it
were
to
they
you.
all flat
You want me to
earthers, you know?
spoon feed it you, and I don't care what you think. You don't have to trust me. You can just say, like people like Mark Taylor, I don't believe you. Great,
No,
well, that's
mate.
good enough for you. Now you've
Mate,
satisfied
I'm
your
not
own
trying to- I'm not
opinion
trying to
that I'm
flip your
lying
pancake.
or wrong.
I'm
Good for
just
you.
asking you.
I don't care.
I got an idea.
I'm not trying to flip
I
your
got an
pancake,
idea.
mate.
If you guys are so interested
I'm just saying, if 100 people, around 100 people, and were they all flat earthers or?
Absolutely
Was there a
not.
wider
Sean
cross-section
Hufford took
of
part.
mindset?
Very awkward. Lots of Globers also took part. Also concave earthers. Anyone was welcome like this.
Okay.
if you guys are
And not
so
one of them
interested
actually
in testing, the
brought it up.
democracy, if you want to see what the public thinks about his findings, then take his video and go call time and date yourselves, and really think about what they're telling you
Hey, that's
and
not
how
a
they
bad
brush
idea.
you off
I
and
might
how
do
they don't
that.
want to answer questions.
No, that's a good idea,
think
man.
about what kind of questions. My dad, he really loves doctors. He believes in doctors. And I said, Dad, let me just talk to your doctor for like 5 minutes. Ask him 3 questions. The guy was out the door threatening, leave if you don't want to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, I asked you a couple serious questions. And that's what you're going to get when you call time and date.
Yep.
You're going to ask a couple serious questions, and they're going to get really mad at you.
Well, that would say something about them then, wouldn't it?
Thank you.
Today's date, though, is just a theory.
Anyways, so Josh, I really don't even think it's fair to basically base your foundational belief on the shape of the Earth based on what you see in the sky, because there are a lot of issues with the heliocentric model that don't explain a lot of things. So For example, can you explain the coronal heating problem that's plagued scientists for 70 years and counting?
Josh is on mute.
Totally against thermodynamics altogether.
Can you explain that to me, Josh? Since on the flat Earth model we can't explain certain things in the sky, can you explain the coronal heating problem?
Sorry, man. Just I was outside having a smoke. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Thermodynamics here while you're smoking.
See,
Like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. So
sure, you can say all as much as you want about trying to pick little holes in the.
well, hold on.
The simple
You
fact
said
is,
little holes. You said little holes. These are not little holes. These are not little holes. You have to realize the heliocentric model. Like, do you know what dark matter is, right?
yeah, I do.
They postulate that dark matter takes up 95% of our universe. Sean Carroll describes dark matter as invisible, collisionless particles. How in the world do you falsify invisible, collisionless particles?
Do you get? I'm sorry who you are. Who was this? I can't see your name. Who was this talking?
Bigger picture.
Bigger picture. Hi, Bigger. Could you please just summarize for me very simply what you think is the heliocentric model?
The heliocentric model is basically saying the solar system revolves around the sun, and
sorry, I may have needed to be more specific, but do you simply just understand the simple, like, step-by-step reasons that why we think that is the way that it is?
I think that's a little unfair because
well, here's the thing, but
he did ask you a question
based
first,
on,
and then you answered his question.
No, Ranty. He's talking about stuff, right, that is actually far beyond stuff. It's so far away from us. All of that dark matter, all of that sort of stuff. That is crazy theoretical nonsense that none of us understand.
So is gravity.
None of us understand.
Based on
gravity.
So Josh, here's my issue. Here's my issue. I hope you understand this. Here's my issue. So basically, we use our understanding of gravity, and then we use it on deep outer space. And then the fact that we have to create dark matter just to compensate for the equations, instead of re-looking at our understanding of gravity, they just create new particles.
Okay. No. And I understand that. And that, even to me, seems a bit like, whoa, a bit out there. But like I'm saying to you, that's like far beyond where we are. We're just in our tiny little solar system. We're just in here. Now, do you understand? And like I just asked a moment ago, do you understand why we think that it is heliocentric? Can you please
the
just
heliocentric
understand
model is based on our understanding of gravity. Our understanding of gravity does not work on a macro level. That's why we invented dark matter. It doesn't work on
No. Again, macro is beyond our solar system.
Josh, please let me finish. Josh, let me finish. Josh, please let me finish. And I'll let you go. Let me finish. It also doesn't work on a micro level. That's why quantum mechanics and the theory of relativity are mutually exclusive. So you're telling me our understanding of gravity is supposed to explain the heavenly bodies, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Everything about gravity works from every single thing that we need to apply it to on our planet to basically every single thing that is really relevant to us in our solar system.
That's not true.
Beyond that,
that's not true.
And beyond that, quite honestly, we just don't know. The universe, it turns out, is really big, and there's crazy things that could be going on out there. And
that's an assumption. That's an assumption. You just made an assumption. The universe. No,
I didn't make an assumption. What I actually did was
the universe is really big is an assumption.
Okay, sure. But again, I want to go back to the first thing I said. All the flat earthers on this panel, do you understand just the few simple logical steps that we needed to take to become a heliocentric model? Do you know those steps? Someone please tell them to.
Yes, I understand the steps.
The Jesuit ministry decided to put a Jesuit in every kingdom's astronomical. They didn't even have a seat for astronomy until the Jesuits say, "You now have a seat for astronomy."
He doesn't know. Does someone else want to answer?
No, I think
that's pretty provable history. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
But you guys understand, right? That like back in the day, that when people were looking up at the stars, they noticed that there were a bunch of these stars.
Do you
they
think we're
call
the first flat
wandering
earthers in
stars.
history? Are you
Shut the
crazy?
fuck up! I'm talking.
Come on, no swearing,
That
please.
there
Come
was
on.
No swearing.
sorry, Nathan. There were wandering stars, and they couldn't reconcile them. They couldn't figure them out in the model. But if the model changed and all of a sudden we put the sun in the middle and everything's spinning around it, everything just worked out. All of a sudden, instead of having a bit of paper on the ground, you had squiggles and circles and spirographs and all this sort of stuff going on. You just had circles. You had all these circles. And it was one of those moments that someone looked at that bit of paper and just went, oh my God, boom, bam, that's it. That's how it works. And it made so much sense. Like, how do you guys
sense
get
other
that?
than
My
the
question
fact
is,
that
how do you know in the
the
early
map is
flat
not
Earth
the
models
terrain?
that
The
they
map
didn't
is not
have
the
the
terrain.
celestial bodies mapped out?
I mean, yeah,
They did have
it's a
a mapped out. That's
navigational
what I
aid
just said.
to
They
match
had
the
them mapped out.
stars.
So
They
what's
had
That's what it is.
wandering
what's the
stars.
The map is not the
They had
terrain.
the planets, but the planets had to do these like spirograph patterns around, and the moons around the planets had to do these weird spirographs around it all, and it was all very, very confusing. And then, like I'm saying, there was a moment when someone, Copernicus, whoever, said, hey, let's just put the sun in the middle, and he drew it all out, and everything was just in beautiful circles. And he just had a moment of like, oh my God, this is it. This is what's happening. This
Other
makes
than the terrain
perfect
doesn't
sense.
match.
What
The
you're
terrain
saying?
doesn't match,
So the
though.
heavenly bodies did work out. They just weren't like we wanted it to be. Is that what you're saying?
I guess if you want to say it like
So
that, but
what's your point
but
then?
that doesn't make any sense really, because everything was in like ridiculous things.
You have,
and,
if
like,
you're
they
going
were
to go,
shooting this way and
listen,
up and
if you're
down,
going to
whatever.
talk about history, then you got to look at the contextuality of history. One of the early pioneers is Galileo. We know this. We know false flags happen. You're telling me that Galileo was this huge rebel to the church, and he was the one who stood up for the globe, and so he committed heresy. Well, they killed people for that. What did Galileo get? Galileo got, wait, hold on. Galileo got house arrest. Okay, that's basically, Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, this is a false flag to make history so that you can bite on it. Do you get that?
What you're actually talking about is the way that people were terrified back in the day of accepting all of this information. Actually, like,
no. What I'm saying is, if you look at the facts, Galileo is supposed to be this rebel, right? Galileo, hang on. They're supposed to be this scared, right? They're supposed to be scared of house arrest, right? That's what they're all scared of, house arrest.
Look, what I just said was that back in the day, obviously, 500 years ago, it was a very different world that we are in today, just sitting on our laptops and with our headphones and talking to people over the internet. It was a different
world, but there was still a nefarious group of individuals trying to pass a narrative since the 1400s, since the 1200s. You know what? Since the Old Testament.
No, totally. We were still, like, if you want to go talk 500 years ago, we were still in a world where people could convince people to do other things because of an eclipse coming up. The smart people
there you go.
Knew that there was
and that's what they're doing today. Just because you think NASA predicts eclipses, you love them.
Okay. All right. You want to go there? Can you tell me? This is what I love about New Flat Earth these days. Is like some flat earther will come out and go like, "Oh, the upcoming eclipse that's going to like debunk flat Earth." What? When has a flat earther predicted anything?
Well, I'm pretty sure.
As a matter of fact, there's a gentleman who
eclipses.
Well, yeah,
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Victor.
I think NASA uses a Saras cycle to predict the eclipses. It's actually on their website.
So NASA, who believes the world is a sphere, they predict eclipses. And then flat earthers take that information
Right,
and
but the sales
somehow
cycle
get
has
to
been
say that
around
the Earth
since
is
they
not
believe
a
in flat
sphere.
Earth.
How does that even work?
Well, you don't need to believe in a globe to predict eclipses. That's what I'm trying to say.
No.
So what's your point?
No, that is the dumbest thing that you could say. Show me one predictive model, one predictive event that the flat Earth model can predict.
We're a model's under development, but just because you don't have a model doesn't mean the Earth isn't flat.
That's. Do you even hear what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Well, see, the thing is, I went through a stage where basically my reality was spoon fed to me. They told me everything I wanted to know. They answered all my questions. But when you actually look at the observations, the round Earth does not match your observations. Now, I will agree with you that in the sky, yeah, it's a fair postulation to say that we're on a globe just based off the sky. But I just think you cannot draw your conclusions from the sky because there's so much we do not understand about the celestial bodies.
But you know what, Bigger? And I'll be just dead honest with you. And like you're sort of like so half right with that statement, being that sure, we are just individual units, and we really don't know what other machinations are going on out there, what other governments are deciding the next course for us. There could be in a room right now a bunch of people that are deciding how shit is going to affect us for the next 10 years. And we just do not know. You're dead right in the fact that we can't know stuff that's going to happen to us. But the simple fact of the shape of the Earth, it's one of those confusing things for me, is because flat Earth is a beautiful like umbrella to sort of like create like a conspiracy theory umbrella, as where like we don't know anything, and you're like, okay, cool, but on top of that umbrella, the first thing that we can actually determine is the shape of the Earth. And while I agree with you that there may be heaps of bad stuff going on behind closed doors that will affect all of us in monetary and physical and demographical change, the fact that the Earth is a sphere is actually not up for debate.
And
What
how
is
you
undeniable
guys?
proof?
So why is
it
the
up for
ground
debate.
curving?
We're on a flat Earth
My
debate. now.
undeniable proof is the first thing that I came onto this podcast identifying and trying to talk about is
Hi,
the
Warren. How you
southern
doing? Can you hear us?
celestial
Good, good.
sphere.
So
And-
you're saying,
and
it's just
it's
me.
impossible to be explained on a flat Earth.
Yes.
So can you? Okay, hold on. Can you prove that?
Just sorry, Bigger. Just one thing. Just please go on, but just one thing. I personally believe that those who don't think the southern stars like it can work on a flat Earth, they just actually don't understand the problem. And that's my contention. If you're going to say that, oh yeah, it's just perspective, you can spin them around, then bliss and turn around, and that whatever, that you don't actually understand the conundrum.
Josh,
And that's where I'll finish.
understand the issue. I studied the southern stars for at least a solid month, and on the AE projection, I don't think it will be reconciled. But I think that even though there's that issue, I don't think that debunks all flat Earth models.
No, but bigger, like solid, man. And thank you for even admitting that. Like the AE projection does not reconcile the southern stars. Like it cannot work. So just even in your head, how do you even take the next step, man? Like what do you?
Well,
what
that's
do you
the
do?
problem.
Like,
Is there's been so many years. There's been so many years of flat Earth, going back, say, maybe, I don't know, 2012.
I think I started about
Right.
2014, but yeah, go on.
So,
Well, they've had this much time to come up with some sort of working model. Plenty of observation time. Plenty of computers around nowadays.
had a lot of time.
So
but like
why
I said,
can't you model something?
There's a lot of
Why is it
things
taking so long?
I think that's
Why does it
completely
take
wrong.
so long?
You've got a few thousand people that are researching this, and we don't have the millions and millions every day to
So?
go and put a model together. and we don't work well together either.
You don't
because
need
we
billions.
always seem to be bickering with
Ranty,
each other.
that's a terrible argument.
The sun moves in the sky.
It's not a terrible argument.
The sun moves in the sky. You can measure shadows. You can take measurements.
The entire Newtonian system of physics took one man. It took Newton. And Newton figured out the entire version of physics. So,
Ranty, it appears that we don't have a Newton on the flat Earth. In fact, it's very hard to come across another Newton.
We'll have a Newton on the flat Earth.
Hey, Ranty. Well, hang on, Josh. Why don't you?
Why don't we have another Newton?
Why don't you? Well, why don't you have someone that's smart on the flat Earth, like a Newton on the flat Earth?
We do.
Well, firstly,
we've got people working on models right now.
Pardon?
We do. We've got people working on models of the flat Earth. I've seen one. It works with the second stars.
Yeah, we are.
Well, what's taking so long?
Well, time is money.
Why
you guys understand that? That's what Ranty's just trying to explain to you.
Today's
time
technology,
is money.
You've got thousands of people working on it.
And we don't have the budget. So you asked the question, why not? Now I'm giving you an answer and you're just talking over me continually.
So long?
I don't get it, Warren. Why are you talking over me? You've asked me a question. Time is money. So we don't have as much money as NASA, so it's going to take us more time. So why haven't we done it instantly without a 52 million a day budget? Because time is money.
That's a cop-out.
No, it's not a cop-out.
No,
if we had an infinite budget, it would go a lot faster. But obviously, simple economics.
You've got thousands of people working on it.
Yeah, no, we've got a few thousand people working on it in their own time for free, not getting paid a dime. Why don't you
collaborate?
I think it's annoying how they say
exactly. Why don't we collaborate? That's a good question. We just don't. We're
organise yourselves.
But others aren't.
Get yourselves a Google Drive and collaborate.
Yeah, we are. We've collaborated on an observation. We've collaborated on an observation. Hold on. We've collaborated on an observation.
Well, collaborate.
We have, and I'm trying to tell you on what. That proves that it's flat. What we can observe on the ground with our feet on the ground.
I was having a smoke, but I just had to say this.
Why are you all talking over me? I've hardly said anything. I've literally hardly interjected at all in this conversation. I've got one thing to add.
Nathan's been nice and quiet. Let him have a go.
Thank you. So we've all talked about the heavens and the stars, but not one of you have actually taken that down to ground level and showed me how that relates into a curved Earth. We have done exactly that. Presented evidence that demonstrates that it's obviously and observably flat. So if you want to challenge that, show us something that's measured with a curve. On the ground, not the stars. It's useless. The ground is beneath our feet. That's what we can measure. We can touch it.
I get kind of annoyed, like when, like, you know, like they'll say do your own experiments and all that, but then they'll also say that the Cavendish experiment can't be replicated, and they haven't even tried to do their own experiment. They've just like watched some video and they parrot. They like a lot of times they'll just parrot other flat Earth videos without doing the experiments, and then tell other people to do their experiments. Like,
I mean, I agree that some people do that, but I kind of feel like you're kind of parroting gravity because. Like I asked you earlier, if two objects bend space-time differently, how do they fall with the same acceleration in a vacuum?
I mean, I don't even understand that question because, like,
well, if you're asking those sorts of questions, you need to study it more, don't you?
I don't understand why they'd be mutually exclusive.
Okay, here, I guess, let's say I have two magnets. Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
So Pete, let's say I have two magnets.
Two magnets.
And
well, not really. Like, what sort of magnets? What are they? U magnets? Are they straight magnets?
Yeah, I'm about to get to that. Let's say I have two bar magnets. Okay.
And I've got two magnets.
Okay.
How many magnets do we have?
4 ice creams. We have 4 ice creams. Did you know 1 + 1 actually equals 3? If you think about it. Anyway, go on. Make 2 magnets.
Okay, so let's say I have 2 bar magnets,
right?
What
is the magnet to ice cream ratio?
And then I bend one magnet, so the magnet forms a horseshoe. And as we know, a horseshoe magnet is stronger than a bar magnet. So
can we call it a unicorn shoe?
We'll call it a unicorn shoe. All right, whatever.
Thank you.
My question is, let's say now, so these are 2 smaller magnets, okay? Now we have one huge magnet, okay? One huge magnet.
Mm-hmm.
and then we put one horseshoe magnet to the left, and we put the bar magnet to the right, and then we drop both magnets on the big, huge magnet. Now, I would expect the horseshoe magnet to fall down faster because it has a stronger attraction towards the other magnet. You see what I'm saying? It's basically bending. You see what I'm saying? So here we have the electromagnetic field. It's bending differently. That's why these magnets are falling at different speeds. So why does the same thing not work for gravity? Because if we have two objects that bend space-time differently, how do they fall with the same acceleration?
Are you talking about falling towards each other or falling on the surface of these planets?
It's falling
I'm
on the
assuming you're
surface
talking
of
about
the
planets.
Earth. How, if we're in a vacuum,
Gravity is just acceleration, and it pulls on everything at the same acceleration.
but you don't understand. It's not just gravity playing a part here. It's also the objects, because they have their own gravity. Gravity's just not.
But if you drop a feather and a bowling ball in a vacuum, if you drop a feather and a bowling ball in the vacuum chamber, they fall at the same speed.
How are you trying to talk about a gravity experiment and then just talking about magnets at the same time? They don't.
Well, I just wanted you to show how different.
How in your brain are you even thinking this is a valid experiment?
Josh, I'm saying that different.
Josh, I'm trying to entertain.
Have different effects. So basically, huh? What was that?
Different fields, yeah.
Yeah. So different fields have different effects. So I'm saying that we have two.
Yeah, a baseball field has a different effect to a cricket field.
What? Okay, so
sorry, I'm just taking the piece. Anyway, go on.
So we have two different fields bending space differently, but yet they fall with the same acceleration. That makes no sense.
Who told you that magnetism bends space-time?
Well, what are they bending?
Well, no, they're just attracting particles to each other. Like, why would you even bring that up in talking about gravity? Why would you bring up electromagnetism when you're talking about gravity?
Because I'm trying to tell you that we can demonstrably see how the fields work in electromagnetism. You can break apart, release magnets into fragments, and then you can put them on top of another magnet, and you can see the magnetic field. And I'm saying that.
No, but that's 100% not true, because if you had an electromagnet that you didn't provide charge to, it's now just a brick, and it will just fall and do whatever it does. You need to add electricity to an electromagnet to make it a magnet. So why are you even talking about that? It's got nothing to do with gravity.
You just talked about a magnet that didn't. Okay, if it's not,
if
it doesn't have a field, it's not a magnet. Do you understand?
An electromagnet? Do you know the difference between a magnet and an electromagnet?
Right.
That's not an answer.
Sorry, I'm a bit confused. Are you saying, Josh, that if it's not a big, are you saying if it's only more powerful if it's electrified? Is that what you're saying, Josh? You're saying that magnets only get more powerful if they have electricity running through them?
No, I'm saying there's two different things. There's a magnet and there's an electromagnet, and they're different things entirely.
Sure, but in his example, he's just saying a magnet and a more strong magnet. That's essentially what he's saying.
Yeah, but he hasn't actually mentioned dropping.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't mentioned electromagnets at all. I don't really understand.
Did he? Oh, I missed that.
Like, why use?
Did you say electromagnets, man?
Why use other objects? Like, why use magnets that just conflict?
I'm using magnets because we can.
Yeah. Like, come on, demonstrate how they have more confusing.
I was using magnets because we can demonstrate how they have different fields, and I'm saying that the explanation for relativity is saying that space-time bends depending on the object, and if you have different objects, you're going to have
the mass of the object.
The space-time.
Doesn't it say the mass of the object?
Yeah, this is kind of what I was saying back before about, like, do you guys actually know the steps that have been taken to get to where we are right now in our current understanding of the world? And you didn't really know the way that.
I don't think you're right. Yeah,
you asked this earlier, and I said yes.
I think Josh is right. Yeah,
there's a certain number of steps that you need to kind of take to get to where we know we're talking about. And if you start at like step 5 and just start talking about electromagnets and this and that and gravity and anti-gravity.
Okay, Josh. What's step 1? I'll play this game. What's step 1?
Step 1 is that things fall down.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, that's good. Step 2 is us looking up at like the moon and the stars and things, and like just recording them and writing them down and figure like where they are that night, where they are this night.
Like I did on sun tracking, you mean? That sort of thing, like I did on sun tracking. Okay, I'm with you.
Totally, sun tracking. We're just we're tracking where things are. We're looking at these things, and then step 3, we notice a few things in the sky that aren't just revolving around us. Some of them are going backwards. How freaky is that, Dan? How freaky is that? That like sometimes, like tonight, we look up at the stars and we're writing them all down. And we think, oh my God, that thing's going backwards. That's weird. And
Sorry,
that's
are you
like
actually
an
saying that you
anomaly.
can witness?
And so all of a
Sorry,
sudden,
are you saying,
we have
Josh,
to
that the wandering
throw out
stars, you
that
can actually
everything's
witness them
revolving
moving in the
around us.
opposite direction?
So why do we look at the sky before we look in front of us?
It sounded like Josh was just asserting that we can actually watch the planets travel in the opposite direction, as opposed to observing retrograde motion, which is something totally different. Are you saying we can watch, say, Venus travel the opposite way? Total silence.
Venus. Not sure about
Anything
Venus.
that has
I don't know
retrograde
about
motion,
nothing.
are you suggesting that I can
I'm
watch?
pretty sure every single wandering star exhibits retrograde motion.
Yes, I know what
which
retrograde
why
motion is.
they're
You've just
called
asserted you can
wandering
watch and go
stars.
backwards. So are you
think it's
now
just-
going to confirm that I can
isn't
go
it-
out and watch
isn't it
one of
part
these
of
stars? Why are you talking over me? One of these
Sorry,
stars
mate,
go
sorry.
in the opposite direction. Can I actually watch that happen?
Yeah, 100%.
believe so.
Of course you can, Nathan.
So I
That's-
can go
that-
up,
that's
film
why
it
they're
going
called
the
wandering
opposite way to the other
stars, because they
stars.
go backwards.
Sorry, I can watch it go backwards.
That's retrograde, isn't it?
No.
What?
It seems like you guys don't
For a-
understand
for a
what
certain
retrograde
amount of
motion
time.
actually means.
100%, Nathan.
You can watch it
If you
in the sky
actually
going
follow
the wrong
you don't
way
understand.
in the opposite direction to the rest of the stars. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
No.
Yes, Nathan.
No, that's not what retrograde motion is. You observe it on a daily basis and it will move its position relative to the other stars upon observation. That's not moving
Yes,
backwards.
Nathan. If you want to get
That's not
super
it moving
technical-
backwards in my
Yes.
field of view. That's total nonsense. You don't understand retrograde.
No, Nathan, it's
Doesn't it look-
because
does it
you
look
don't
like it's going
understand our
backwards then?
frame of
No,
reference.
you can't watch them go backwards.
Nathan, it's because you don't
Does it
understand
look
our
Yeah, I
like
frame
do.
of
It
reference.
seems that
Of
you don't
course,
understand. It
our
seems that you're a bit stupid talking about
24-hour
retrograde
rotation
and
on our
assuming that I
planet
can
is
watch
always
stars
gonna
go
be
backwards.
faster
They don't
than
go
watching a
backwards.
star or
Are
a
you
wandering
stupid,
star move
Josh? Are you
backwards.
just drunk? Is this just the booze speaking? Or do you genuinely not understand retrograde?
No, Nathan, I'm so sorry. I was trying to explain it to you.
You
just
clearly
then.
don't understand. You seem to be telling me that I can watch them go the opposite direction, literally before my eyes. You seem to be stuttering now.
Not in a few minutes.
Of course you can.
Explain
Yeah, like, what
retrograde
do you
to me,
think?
Josh.
You
Explain
think
it
that
to
a
me as you
star's about
understand
to
it.
You
skip
have to-
backwards. That's just stupid, man.
Sorry, are you or are you not saying that I can watch them go backwards? Because that's basically what you said.
Nathan, why do you think they were called wandering stars?
I don't want a question back. I want you to answer my question. Can
Hey,
I
Josh.
watch a planet or star go backwards, opposite direction to the others, in my field
Depends.
of view,
Yes.
live? Can I
Depends
watch
on
that
how
happen?
long you want to sit down with a telescope, Nathan.
It's a simple question. If I sit and watch one of these stars, can I watch it go
Yes,
the opposite
Nathan.
direction to the rest of them? Yes or no?
Oh, you have to pick. Yes,
Yes.
you can, but you have to pick the right star.
Right, so I can observe a star going backwards.
Yes.
Okay?
Retrograde motion.
Please, can you
in
demonstrate
astronomy
that? Can you
describes
show me
the
that,
orbit
please?
Of a celestial
Hold on.
body that
Why
runs
are you
counter
backing him
to
up,
the
Warren? I've got him in a
direction of the
corner.
spin of
Let's
that
see him
body
show
which it
me
orbits.
stars going backwards on a time lapse. Let's see it.
Why do you think
I
they're
was
called
speaking.
wandering stars?
I don't care,
Nathan?
Warren. I've got Josh on the ropes, and I
You
want
asked
him
the
to now
question, I was
show
trying to
me
answer.
stars going
What
backwards
do
in
you-
our field
what-
of view.
What do you mean on the ropes? They're
I
called
understand what
wandering
retrograde
stars.
means.
They've been
It seems
observed
clear,
for
Josh, that you
thousands of
don't.
years. What?
You don't seem to understand what retrograde actually means. You say these words, but it seems like you don't actually understand what the hell you're talking about.
Go on then, Nathan. Tell me. What do they mean?
Yeah, like with the sun tracking, I don't give a shit whether or not you understand it, Josh, you moron. I understand now that you don't understand it, and that's good enough for me.
Name calling.
Yes.
Don't need to
I got a
spoon
moron
feed
out
you
of
anything. My understanding is my own. But I now understand that you're a moron.
It was almost more
Retrograde
today.
motion in a excuse me, retrograde motion in astronomy describes the orbit of a celestial body that runs counter to the direction of the spin of that body which it orbits. So does that mean it appears to go backwards?
Sorry, did you say? Did you just add the word appears? Sorry, Warren, did you just add the word appears? Appears to go backwards or goes backwards. There's a very distinct difference between appearing and actually moving in the opposite direction. Do you understand that? It's all right, Josh. You can shut up. We've established you're an idiot. So, Warren, do you understand the difference between something appearing to go backwards and actually travelling backwards? Do you understand the difference?
Oh, I didn't realise you were asking such a question. I thought we were on the same sort of level there. No, planets don't orbit backwards. No.
Oh right. So pretty much the point I was making to Josh that you tried to interrupt. Thank you, Warren.
Yeah,
thank you for that clarity.
You're right there.
Yes, I know I'm right, Warren. Thank you very much for the clarity. I didn't need your assurance. What I did need to do was make Josh look like a complete idiot, and I achieved that admirably. Thank you, Warren.
Did you, Nathan? Did you really?
Yes, I made you look very stupid, Josh. Very, very stupid. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, you did indeed look incredibly stupid, Josh. Thank you for asking.
So, Nathan, do you understand?
The planets can go backwards.
It went from geocentric theory to heliocentric theory. And could you explain that?
Oh, hang on a sec. Nathan, what solar system are you referring to?
He's doing that thing. I've seen him do this thing where he's like, no. He gets all flustered and stupid, and he knows he can't answer a question.
Oh, that's why he's been flustered. You're the one stuttering, Josh, and looking like an idiot.
Pancake got flicked.
I'm talking about observations that you can make in the stars with your own equipment. I don't care what system
actually, Nathan, I just asked a question.
I couldn't care less what system you think you're using. How do you know I'm talking about observations I can make in the sky.
From us
I believe. Hey, Nathan, didn't you ask, can you see planets going backwards?
Nathan.
Can you see them travelling in the opposite direction to the stars in the sky in my field of view in real time?
If you put it that way, that's different. Yeah.
Oh, right. If you put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I did put it that way, Warren.
So, Nathan,
I did put it that way, Warren. That's exactly how I put it.
If you really,
it just took you a long time to get it. I get it, Warren. If it took you a while, you're clearly as slow as
You don't have to make fun of it. I'll go with it.
Right, it's okay. You all talk me down and say that I don't understand retrograde and ask me to explain it. No need. I get it. Josh doesn't.
No, that's cool, Nathan. Sorry, could you just explain to me and all of us why everyone went from a geocentric system to a heliocentric system? I'm sure all of your listeners.
Yes, because they couldn't see the North Star past about 33 degrees. They needed to see the North Star, so they wrapped the world around a ball. Yes, I do understand that, Josh. You asked several times, I answered you yes. I understand that it was necessitated for navigation. I get it. I've just explained it. You were just talking over me. It was necessitated for navigation because you can't see the North Star beyond a certain point, so they wrapped the land and the map around a ball to solve that problem.
That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. I was asking about the stars, Nathan. Why did
can you say that again?
The whole globe theory go from geocentric to heliocentric? Please explain.
I think it was because they wanted to get rid of the epicycles.
Get rid of what? What bicycles?
Epicycles.
Thank you, bigger. Oh. That was like, I'm sorry you said that, but that was better than Nathan's just silence response.
Get rid of the epicycles. What are they?
It's kind of hard to draw. It's almost like a figure.
No, there's cycles within cycles. So,
right.
The cycles of like of the retrograde motion and the moons going around these planets. The cycles within cycles, the epicycles,
right.
And just pointing out again that we didn't hear anything from Nathan at this point. Stumped. What a moron.
Yeah, maybe you can tell us about retrograde again.
Don't reduce yourself, man. Seriously.
All right. He's already demonstrated how big of a moron he is with his demonstration of ignorance when it comes to retrograde motion. But that's all good. I'm busy trying to round out my show, so I've got better things to concern myself with. And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in, sharing, and of course, watching this show. If you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.